Celsius energy drinks.
Good morning, sweet, sweet friends. Happy Monday. Patriots primetime winner last night against the Baltimore Ravens. Drake May 31 of 44 for 380 and 2 touchdowns in the 28-24 victory. Ramondre Stevenson, Hunter Henry, and Kyle Williams, your touchdown scorers last night. Lots of injuries. The Ravens losing Lamar Jackson to a back injury early in the game. And for the Patriots, it was hard to keep track, but Travion Henderson, Joshua Mumford, Charles Woods, Kyrus Tonga, Joshua Farms all sustained injuries last night. Next up for the Patriots, they have the Jets in East Rutherford on Sunday. And the Red Sox made some moves last night, acquiring first baseman Wilson Contreras from the St. Louis Cardinals. They also received $8 million in cash towards his remaining salary. They sent out Hunter Dobbins and 2 pitching prospects in the deal. Bruins dropped a third game in a row last night to the Ottawa Senators. The Bruins allowed 3 goals in the first and second period for a final score of 6-2 Ottawa. Korpisalo got the start but was eventually pulled for Jeremy Swayman after giving up 5 goals on 17 shots. Bruins off today but back at it tomorrow hosting the Montreal Canadiens. And the Celtics are back on the court tonight after beating the Raptors on Saturday. They welcome the Pacers to town. We've got you covered with Brandy and Max with pregame at 7 and tip-off at 7:30. Sports Hub headlines were brought to you by IBEW 103 and Nika Electrical Contractors. IBEW 103 celebrates 125 years of powering Greater Boston. To find a qualified contractor for your next electrical, telecom, or security project today, visit thepowerprofessionals.org. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub, Boston's home for sports. I'm Kendra Middleton, and your next update is around 6:30.
New England plays here.
Down the right side, there's a separation. Yes. Touchdown pass. Yes. Perfect dive from Drake May.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
You might hate me, but you're listening.
and Hardy
Don't bother me. I'm at the Pickle Palace.
on 98.5.
I know what I'm capable of.
He said something about peanut butter, right?
Yeah, boning, baby. Make America nut again.
That's gross. That's disgusting.
Let's talk about cheese.
What are you going to have for lunch?
I was at dinner with my wife and a friend.
Kitty, kitty, pussy, kitty, kitty, kitty. Flap, flap, flap.
Shut up, I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Toucher and Hardy
Good luck trying to put your finger in it when there's a million holes.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go. Had that game last night been flexed before I accepted today's shift, buddy, I would not be working today. So thank you for acknowledging my heroism, getting up after a Patriots Sunday night game to come in and do a job that I love while you drive to a job you probably don't like. So recognize me for my sacrifice for showing up at 6 a.m. the next day after a Patriots win. That's where we start. Toucher and Hardy, those guys are out. You'll talk to them in the new year. Everybody's out. No 12, no Beaton, no Gemelli. So you get me, Matt McCarthy. Sorry about that. And Kendra Middleton. Kendra, what's going on? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I guess I should apologize for being here, too.
I will say, this was initially supposed to be Mike Hawley, I think.
Probably.
Before the flex happened and everything, and then they said, hey, you're working with Kendra. And I said, fantastic. Because I'm not going to lie, Kendra, if it were somebody else, I would have said, nope, I'm not working. Thank you. Thank you very much. I am no longer available Monday morning, the 22nd. I have a prior engagement. Sorry, not happening. I will be sleeping. I will not be here, but I'm here, and I'm happy to be here. You good? Everything? Thank you for bringing in our cookies this morning.
Of course. I don't know if Hardy is going to listen to this game, but if he does, don't worry. I put some in my freezer for you, since you're not here to get them.
There's no way they're listening.
I know. There's
not
no
a
way.
chance.
No. But if they
6
listen to the
a.m.
podcast, maybe.
On a day they're off to begin their extended 2+ week vacation, whatever it's going to be, there's no way they're listening.
Did you try these last year when I made them?
No, I have not tried them yet.
Okay, so these are called Aunt Eileen cookies. My Aunt Eileen. They are the most white trash cookie of all time.
What makes them that way?
But they are delicious. They
look really good.
They have to be Ritz crackers with Skippy peanut butter. Only Skippy peanut butter. And you fill them, make a sandwich, and then you toss them in butter and melted white chocolate.
This looks amazing.
They are not allergy friendly for anybody who comes into the office this morning. but they are delicious.
Well, they're not going to be here because in 4 hours they're going to be gone.
They're so good.
See, this is the thing, Kendra. Thank God we have you for about a million different reasons. We work in a locker room. It's 99.9% dudes. You think any dude at this station is staying up on is spending their Sunday baking cookies for their coworkers?
No.
Not a chance.
Could you imagine Zolak baking anything?
I don't want anything Scott Zolak bakes. Especially now. Especially the way he's been for the last month.
I'm
good with that.
Actually, not top 3, bottom 3. Who are the 3 last people you would want to eat cooking from their household at this station? Zolak has got to be on there.
Number 1. Disgusting. Gross. I can actually think, I would want anything Joe would make.
Yeah, for sure.
Jim Murray's a foodie, so
I would eat anything he made, yeah.
Yeah. Not Felger because he hates food.
Yeah. Every time I come in here, he's just eating like riced cauliflower and lettuce.
I'm good with that. I want somebody who can actually cook, somebody who can actually... I bet you Hardy is a good cook.
Yes, Hardy definitely is a good cook. Yeah.
I'll think about that.
I'm going to have to think about it.
Again...
Fred, I wouldn't eat anything Fred cooks.
No, we work in a locker room. 99.9% of people I wouldn't want to have anything to do with. No way.
Milliken gives like chicken tender French fry kid vibes.
Out. Dino nuggets the whole way. Yeah, no, out. Nothing Milliken. Honestly, that would be a threat to everybody else if Milliken cooked.
Yeah. All right, anyways.
Threat to his neighbors.
Patriots.
What a win last night. What a win. What's your number 1 takeaway from that?
I took so many notes last night. My number 1 takeaway is that Drake May finally had that, fourth quarter final 2 good drives. That Kyle Williams touchdown was incredible. After 2.5, lackluster quarters of football from him. I don't know if he was just had like a sugar hangover from Bakemas for the first 2 quarters last night, but he was making some really dangerous throws. But good win, good morale win. Needed it to try and chase the bye week after Denver lost to my Jacksonville Jaguars last night. That was probably my biggest takeaway. Second takeaway, I don't think that they win that game if Lamar plays.
No, probably not.
Because he was kind of low-key dicing you up while he was in the game for the first half of the first quarter. That's not the storyline to me. The storyline is the win, and it was a gritty win because I think the biggest takeaway has to be the injuries from last night. You cannot feel good with how injured you got last night and heading into the rest of the season. Now, you've got 2 easier games to finish the season out. Maybe you can get a little bit healthier, survive on some of these depth pieces that you had to put into the game last night. But I probably don't feel great going into the postseason after watching what Lamar did while the team was still relatively healthy. I mean, don't get me wrong, the injury report was decimated. Like, just, oh my goodness, was it everywhere on the defense this week. So I probably don't feel great after watching that heading into a postseason. But you got to focus on the victory. You celebrate for 24 hours, and you move on to the Jets.
I think both things can be true. And the number 1 takeaway is that win took balls, and Drake May showed you balls in the
100%.
fourth quarter. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you can watch that game and not walk away from it saying Drake May took a step forward last night, because he was not good for big portions of this game. He was a turnover waiting to happen. I thought he really was not good for the first 3 quarters, and then he was nails in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
He did get away. He nearly threw a pick six.
He could have had 5 picks last night.
It was not one of his better games of the year. However, and I know he threw for 380 yards, but throwing for yards isn't everything. It's the first time in his career he's had over 300 yards. Drake May has played better games than he did last night. But what he did in the fourth quarter, down 11 on the road on Sunday Night Football against a team that still needed it more than you, I'm sorry. I don't know how that isn't your takeaway, the way he played in that fourth quarter. Like, he bounced back.
That was MVP football.
He bounced back in a huge way. And he did something he hasn't really done before, which is a comeback win. And he had that first moment, really, of his career, first big-time moment in that type of scenario in his career last night. That's the number 1 takeaway from that game. We're going to talk about the issues that Baltimore had, and no doubt they had some problems. No Derrick Henry in the fourth quarter. Do we have an answer on that, by the way?
Yeah, I saw that Harbaugh said something, but I don't remember. I didn't watch it just because I went to bed immediately last night, but I saw it on Twitter this morning. I know that he did address it. I just don't know what was said. the Zay Flowers thing, the fact that he has more fumbles this season than touchdowns is an insane stat considering how good and consistent he's been for his few years in the league. He last night killed them, which is crazy though, because he was kind of low-key frying Christian Gonzalez for a decent part of that game. Christian Gonzalez had one big play where he swatted that ball down. I thought that he picked it for a second, just the way that the ball sounded when it hit his hand. But what a play from him. Other than that, Zay Flowers kind of diced him up. And then for that to cut that one play to be kind of the really just the kiss of death. Zay Flowers, man, what a roller coaster of a season he's having. What a roller coaster of a season Baltimore is having.
Well, right, and I mean, if I'm in Baltimore this morning, I'm having a meltdown over the way they lost that game. You know, Jackson gets hurt, but you're still up 11 with your backup quarterback. Derrick Henry is just gashing the Patriots left and right. You go up 11, he doesn't score, he doesn't play a single snap.
Another fumble from him.
Another fumble that definitely changed the game. I mean, Baltimore dominated the game early. That game's completely different, I think, if Henry does not fumble on the second drive. They were trending towards being up 14-0. You're up 11, and you can't close the deal. Yes, Baltimore has issues. I get that. Despite those issues, I still think it's a hell of a win for the Pats.
Yeah.
They showed you their limitations, all right? And if you've got Super Bowl tickets today, I'm not feeling great about it. If you've got a bet slip on the Patriots making the Super Bowl or winning the Super Bowl, I'm not feeling great about that because I think they showed you their limitations again last night. I think they've shown you their limitations over the course of the last month. But the number one takeaway has to be that this program and this team is still trending in the right direction. And they're learning, and they did not do what they did in Buffalo or against Buffalo last week. They bounced back from that experience. They had big moments at the end of the game. They couldn't capitalize against Buffalo, and they did capitalize a week later. That's a sign of progress. Once again, last night was a sign of progress for what Mike Vrabel and the Patriots are doing. Plain and simple.
I gotta say, I don't think Mac Jones would have won a game like that.
No way. No way. Not a chance. And I'm probably more critical of Drake May than most people in this town.
Me too. I mean, but that's the thing. Here's the thing. It's so hard
he was so good in that first quarter.
Oh my God, so good. I don't blame people for him being like the town's darling. He deserves it. He's adorable. He's fun. He's good. His wife is fun and entertaining. I love the aura around like the situation with him. But that doesn't mean you can't criticize him. And I feel like fans are getting offended because he's like their little new shiny puppy toy. And it's like you can be critical of him. The fumble and I said this to them when I came in here this morning. I was like, I'm not comparing the two. I don't want to compare the two. They're different. Whatever. But you got 3 quarters of football from Drake May. It was a very Trevor Lawrence-like game. You get 3 quarters of what the hell is this? You throw in an ugly interception, you fumble the ball, and then you get a quarter of them just looking like the second coming of Jesus Christ. That was a very Trevor Lawrence game. And Drake May is much more progressed. He's much better than Trevor Lawrence was at that age. Listen, he's better than Trevor Lawrence probably in the long run, considering his contract and everything like that. I do think that Trevor Lawrence is playing the best football the last month for a quarterback.
May's better than Lawrence.
The last month. I said the last month. I said everything. Whatever.
14 minutes into the show without a Jackson.
Calm down there, Kendra.
You guys are welcome.
I know they just had the biggest win of their entire franchise history yesterday.
That's not true, but okay. Yeah. We get it.
Where's the cat costume? You said you were going to wear the cat costume.
I wore it on my show last night.
Garvin, Kendra promised us she was going to wear the cat costume if the Jaguars won.
She made cookies.
Oh, you're right. Never mind.
She made cookies.
I'm done criticizing
you. He's being mean to me, right?
I apologize.
A little bit.
I have not slept. I'm sorry.
None of us have slept.
We'll take your calls early and often today. 617-779-0985. Will you continue to share those cookies with me? We're good?
Say something nice.
The cookies are delicious.
Fine.
Alf in Michigan to lead us off today. Alf.
Hey, how y'all doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Cool.
Hey, who the hot chick?
That's Kendra. Who are you? Bye, Alf. How about Mark in Medford? Mark.
Hey, how are you guys? Good morning, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year.
You too, Mark.
So last night, it was 10-10 at halftime. Henderson goes down. Jackson goes down. There goes my bets. And I'm saying, yeah, Drake May's probably going to throw 2 more interceptions. I'm going to bed. And I wake up this morning, I see 28-24 Patriots. I was like, what the hell did I miss last night? I should have said that.
Well, Mark, I would encourage you to stay listening because we have the staple of the Toucher and Hardy program, sponsored, might I add, too, What Happened Last Night. That's coming up next, where we will play the highlights. We will tell you exactly what happened. If you went to bed at the half, well, we will break it all down for you. We're performing a service to the public. It is what the FCC requires of us for having a license. That's why we're here. Kendra's here. Ryan Garvin's here. The People's Champ, George Sepulveda, is here. Matt McCarthy in for Toucher and Hardy.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
game last night.
What happened last night brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. Trust me, there's a reason I'm wearing a hat. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lopresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. It's not trending in the right direction, Kendra. What can I say?
Would you do it?
Yeah, I would do it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Would you do it here or would you go to Turkey?
I'm not getting on a plane and going to Turkey.
Why? It's the city of, there's cats everywhere. Istanbul's the city of cats.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about going to another country to have a medical procedure. It's still a medical procedure. I've done enough research into it. And I get it. It's what everybody's doing. I'm going to stay in the good old US&A. Get my medicine. Get my treatment.
I'm pro hair transplants for men.
Bring it on.
If I could get all the stuff girls get done, why not?
Need it. Lamar Jackson's had some injury problems, though. He's had some medical issues this year, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And that's
I thought we were going to get another Lamar Jackson poop game.
That's one of the stories, one of the big stories from last night.
And the Ravens have gone to Tyler Huntley at quarterback, replacing Lamar Jackson on this snap. Got it back to his right, Rasheen Ali. Got a touchdown pass a week ago. The snap to Huntley. Flips it to Ali in the right flat. He runs, weaving his way left. Tries to get outside. Takes it across the green to the 20-yard line. And he's upended. Well short of the first down line of the game. Christian Gonzalez stayed home for the Patriots and makes the tackle. Mike Vrabel calls the timeout.
You explain what just transpired?
Third. It's a 30-second timeout.
You got third forever. You bring the backup quarterback in. Lamar's on. Wait a minute. We got Lamar on the sideline talking to doctors. They're looking at a potential head injury here.
Lamar Jackson is down below to our left, being evaluated by the medical team.
The head did not go off the ground.
And now they're going to walk him back to the Ravens locker room. He's going to go down the dugout steps. Right behind the Ravens bench at midfield. So Lamar Jackson has left this game.
You know, the whole thing looks so innocuous. It kind of just looked like a knee to the back in the end, a knee to the side, and then they said back injury. He couldn't move.
It was really kind of scary. It was definitely scary because they showed us the replay a couple of times and it just didn't look like anything serious happened. And then I remember them showing him on the sidelines and you could see him talking, you could see his face. So it wasn't like anything, too, at least to the naked eye, too serious. But him going back, Harbaugh saying at the half that they were still working on him and he didn't know if he was going to come back makes me think that they were trying to make something work, and the fact that he couldn't with such a huge game on the line for them makes me feel like it might be pretty serious. Because, don't get me wrong, I get that Lamar is hurt rather often. He has a flu game every single season. I've been joking that he has the immune system of a Victorian child because low-key he does. But
don't bring him into this studio.
But he's still a pretty tough guy. You know what I mean? The Ravens' brand of football is tough football. So, that's not something that you can say against Lamar. Yes, he's hurt often, but he's been so open in interviews that the seasons he hasn't been able to finish have absolutely ripped him apart. So, a back injury is always something just kind of scary that you don't want to hear.
So that happened before the half. The Patriots went into the half with a 13-10 lead, but despite losing Jackson, the Ravens came out in the second half and they went right down the field.
The Ravens are threatening with Huntley under center. He turns and fakes it to Henry, gives it on the end around to Flowers, weaves his way forward, sprints across the 10 to the 5, and he's hit out of bounds along the right pylon. He's in for a touchdown.
Touchdown, aided by the referees.
Zay Flowers sweeping left to right. What's been a big night for him, both catching the ball and now running it. And the Ravens have gone in front 16-13.
It'd be so nice to get through a game, to let two teams play and not have questionable decisions by the referees.
Well, I don't know if the refs were a huge factor on that drive. They were a factor later on. I should mention the Patriots got that field goal after coming out of the half. It was 10-10 at the half. The Patriots scored on their second drive of the second half. So that was the Ravens' second drive. They went right down the field. They went ahead 17-13, and that's where this game started to get pretty dicey for the Patriots. The Patriots did not play well in the third quarter last night, Kendra.
They haven't throughout the season, though. It's weird because I'm so sick of talking about about the refereeing just consistently every single game, every single week. It's something that we're talking about. I said this last night on Twitter. I was like, referees should have availability after games. The media should be allowed to ask how those referees did not call.
Send Zoe in there.
I feel like Zoe would actually ask the refs questions.
Oh no, yeah, no. I mean, Zoe, I think confronts high school referees, so no doubt he would confront professional referees. Of that, there is no doubt.
I mean, I would love to see it.
We'll get to the refs. Because things were bad.
It was bad
later on in that game. Things were not good for the Patriots. First 2 drives of the half, they stalled. Then they were facing a punting situation on their 3rd drive of the half. Down 4, and that's where things got real interesting.
Rolling over the top of the defender. Second time that Washington has gotten to May. Now the Patriots run a fake. Snap to Marte Mapu, running it to the right. It's the personal protector. He lost the ball. It's loose at the 45, and the Ravens are going to have it either way.
What are we doing?
The Patriots tried the fake punt. Marte Mapu had nowhere to go on the run to the right. The Ravens, a team traditionally sound in special teams, not fooled whatsoever. Whether that's a call that Mapu makes as the personal protector, the punt protector.
Still not sure what the design is supposed to be here.
That was a preordained decision. You had Westover trying to run out to the left.
Westover was double covered.
But you're asking Marte Mapu to try to get that ball to Westover. No chance.
What the hell is that?
Fake punt doesn't work. Did you like the call?
I did like the call. I was taking a bunch of notes last night in my notes app, and I just had the fake punt. WTF LOL. I liked the idea. I didn't appreciate the effort. Right idea, wrong effort. I think that's where I stand on that.
We'll get more into the fake punt later on. I think I had no problems with the decision, and I know I'm in the minority on that because I heard from everybody on Twitter who thought it was the worst.
You had a night on Twitter.
It was the worst. We'll get to that too. Yes, everybody's very upset with me that I think Milton Williams is a really, really, really good player.
Garvin just looked at you.
What's your issue with me, Garvin?
Oh no, I have no issue with you. I agree with that.
Milton Williams is the best player on the Patriots.
Pretty much.
He's that good. Look at this defense without him. I mean, they are getting gashed left and right. Milton Williams changed everything on the defensive side of the ball for this team. He's that good. We all collectively in this town significantly underrate how good a player he is.
Should we send him a fruit basket?
I would love to send him a fruit basket.
It's almost like
I'd love to show up at his
had
house.
Derrick Henry on the field for the second to last Ravens drive instead of Keaton Mitchell.
Speaking of Derrick Henry.
Did we get that audio?
Oh, yeah, I have it. Hold on.
Speaking of Derrick Henry, after the Patriots' fake punt failed, they took it right down the field.
Second and goal to go from the 2. Henry to the right of Huntley, takes the handoff, runs it to the left. Henry's going to get outside. He's into the end zone for the second time. Touchdown, Baltimore.
And the offense can't do anything. Tyler Huntley led easy touchdown drive.
Dejected. That's a dejected crew right there. You were down 11, 24-13, which again, I think is the reason Vrabel went for the fake punt. He saw a defense that was getting gashed. He saw an offense that hadn't really accomplished much all night. May was turning the ball over. They did not look good coming out of halftime offensively. I think Vrabel felt that he had to do something. It backfired. Now you're down 11 on the road, on the verge of your second loss in a row, and that is when Drake May got going.
First and 10, New England from the 37 of the Ravens. Snap is back to May. He loads up. He throws a long ball down the right side for Kyle Williams. He has it. He falls across the sideline. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Patriots.
Pass money. Get your pants on. I can't believe it. Kyle Williams again.
Made a grab like that down the left side. On his last touchdown catch as a rookie, and here it's over the right side.
Oh, what a catch.
Over the shoulder. Beautiful throw.
Big time.
Tough catch for the young receiver looking back, tracking it all the way. And the Patriots will go for 2.
Amazing the amount of Patriots fans here.
New England, this season, 2 for 2 on 2-point tries. Pass break from the huddle. They trail at 24-19. 9:01 to go. After the touchdown of 37, Mays in the gun, 3 receivers right, 1 left, and now Stevenson joins him in the backfield. Drake leans forward, waits on the snap, he takes it, he drops back, he looks to the end zone, he moves up, May throws it, shovels it, Stevenson, middle of the end zone, a 2-point pass, and the Patriots are now 3 for 3.
One of the plays of the year. What are you laughing at? It's a very serious program.
I agree. That was in contention for throw of the year. However, the way that Zoe said 2 things, the way he goes, Kyle Williams, and then he goes, hell yeah. Those both just now, I was talking back to Garvin. Can you play the Kyle Williams again?
I can't believe Kyle Williams.
I couldn't believe it either.
Wait, can you get the hell yeah too? He just goes, hell yeah.
I gotta find him crying.
You're making Garvin work. The man hasn't slept.
I can't believe
bossing him around.
That was Steve Burton. I am-esque.
I couldn't believe it either. How could you believe it? Let's be honest. What a throw, what a catch.
In contention for play of the year, without a doubt. That was incredible. And the fact that it was Kyle Williams of all people. You know, the other thing that I didn't mention yet, the Patriots and Stephon Diggs really said F you guys, the Bills last night, and their December Diggs crap. They knew that his production had been down. I have no doubt that they listened to everything that the media has to say. They got him involved early and often. Stephon Diggs was a huge, huge key to the success they had last night.
Diggs was the best player on the field last night. He was that good. He was good. He was that impactful. He was so important to what they did.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, indeed. That was the
hell yeah. Wait, give it again.
The biggest
hell yeah.
The biggest momentum shift of the year.
Scott Zolik on the Pat McAfee show.
Middle of the end zone.
Hell yeah.
I mean, dude, I can't. I am too sleep deprived for this. I'm dying.
Kyle Williams.
Who saw it coming? Not me. Not them. Maybe Mike Reese, who's been a big Kyle Williams defender.
Hell yeah.
Ask his thoughts at 7 o'clock when he joins us. So the Patriots down 3 after, I think, probably the biggest momentum shift of the year, which was that May to Williams 37-yard touchdown. Pats then got a stop on defense. No Derrick Henry out there in the fourth quarter for Baltimore. We'll get to that. Baltimore punted it away. Patriots got the ball back on their own 11 with 5 minutes to play. They needed one of the drives of the year, and they got it.
May will move under center. Offset I formation. Westover with a handout. 3-point stance to the fullback in front of Stevenson. Kyle Williams is split to the right. Drake May surveys the defense. Nobody deep for Baltimore in the secondary. Handoff Stevenson. Runs to the right side across the 15. Cuts it across the 10 to the 5. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Patriots. A sensational run by Ramondre Stevenson as New England takes the lead.
What a run. And it was a run the whole time. You could tell they brought formation in to pack it in tight. The Ravens still couldn't stop it. Way to go, veteran.
Ravens had a chance to ice this game away by running the football. Derrick Henry was nowhere to be found in the fourth quarter. They didn't. The Patriots got the ball back. They took the lead. They ultimately iced the game by running it. 21-yard touchdown from Ramondre Stevenson. Forced fumble from Caleb Von Chason on the next drive. Patriots ultimately win the game, 28-24. The final, they clinch a playoff spot. And here we are. That's what happened last night.
What a night for them. Winners win. MVP football from Drake May. He elevated, Kyle Williams and Mac Hollins and got the job done. And that was his first, real signature win. I saw some people say the Bills game, but they were cornered underdog, whatever, and went in there and popped them in the mouth. This was come from behind, win, playoffs, that whole vibe, MVP football. And he played it in the fourth quarter. Hats off to the Pats.
Derrick Henry, 18 rushes, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have a fumble in the first quarter, which was a big moment in this game as well. He did not have a single touch in the fourth quarter. John Harbaugh, what the hell happened?
I don't like the drive at all. Looking back, would I rather have Derrick starting the drive? Yeah, but Derrick was kind of ready for Keaton to start that drive. And then he was planning on coming in next, so they were working that rotation. You look back on it, I think it's pretty easy to say, hey, he should have been in there or shouldn't have been in there. But we're rotating those guys throughout the game as 2 backs, And but yeah, game-winning drive. Do I want Derrick Henry on the field? Sure, I do want him on the field.
Well, that's your choice, and you chose not to put him out there.
I have something to say. He should be fired. This season and the lack of the fact that you haven't gotten a Super Bowl appearance out of Lamar Jackson, and you've built this team so strong and so well through the draft, through free agency, through all of it. And that decision last night, he was already on the hot seat. The fact that you can't beat out the Steelers, a Bengal-less Joe Burrow, and whatever the hell is going on with the Browns this season. I get that you had a ton of injuries to start, but even with the depth that you have, that comment, that decision last night, Derrick Henry wasn't ready. I don't give a crap if Derrick Henry didn't feel like going in the game.
Derrick was kind of ready for Keaton to start that drive.
He put it all on Henry there.
See ya.
Threw him under the bus.
Get the hell out of Dodge.
Last night more about the Patriots or is it more about the Ravens?
I don't think people here would like my answer.
Well, that means it's about the Ravens?
Yeah. Thanks, Steve-O.
Much appreciated. 617-779-0985. Hey, that sound means you're calling, so we'll take your calls. Carl in the car. Hey, Carl.
Yes, I was just calling about the fake punt. I feel like that was one of the reasons the Patriots could have lost the game, given the Ravens a short field and the way that we were playing at the time. I didn't feel like we would have been able to come back and win. We got lucky with the fumble at the end, and I just wanted to wish you guys all a Merry Christmas, and thanks for keeping the station together for the next couple of weeks.
Agreed. Heroic effort from Kendra and I today, without a doubt. I had no problem with the fake punt because of the way the Patriots were playing at that moment.
On both sides of the ball.
Their defense was getting gashed. The offense had not looked good. May had already turned the ball over twice. They had essentially 3-and-outed on their first two drives in the second half. I don't think they actually 3-and-outed, but they did not move the ball. They did not look good. I know they were facing a backup quarterback, and that's the argument against it. Well, you're only down 4. You're against a backup quarterback. Punt the ball away and play defense. Vrabel was watching the game unfold, and if you were watching that game in that third quarter last night, they were trending towards a loss, and he felt like they needed something. And you know what I learned about the Patriots? Is they responded after their coach did not show faith in them. That fake punt is I don't like the way my team is playing, and we need to pull out all the stops, and we need to do something crazy to try and win this game. It backfired. It did not work, but I understand why he did it, and I love the response from the Patriots. After their coach, let's call it what it is, did not show faith in them, but I don't think the Patriots had earned that faith in the first 3 quarters of that game last night. I don't.
Well, so he knows this team better than anybody, and people don't give him enough credit for it because I don't know if you remember before the season started, preseason, people were like, not enough padded practices, not enough action, not enough hitting. This team is soft. Gen Z players, they're not the same as the old football, blah, blah, blah. And I came out here and I said, I'm pretty sure that Mike Vrabel probably is just getting a vibe check of the team and probably realizes that this group of guys doesn't respond the way that other groups of guys have for him. And he can read this room. He does that gut check, that vibe check, whatever you want to call it. I don't hate that at all because I totally agree with you. They weren't getting production on either side of the ball. And if you're not going to get any confidence with Tyler Huntley in the game on your defense, you have the injuries. You got decimated last night. But if your special teams, your offense can go out there and get you any kind of just bump on the offensive side of the ball, you can get Drake May, get him elevated, get that side of the ball some confidence going into the stretch of the game. That's way more important to me. Give your defense a breather. That's the whole thing here.
We have not talked enough about what happened on that final drive, though. I know we just kind of glossed over it with the Ramondre Stevenson touchdown run. We got to break down that final offensive drive for the Patriots, the final touchdown drive for the Patriots, because that was an adventure. Every sense of the form. Hell no. Hell no, based on what happened on that drive. We'll get into that. We'll continue. Toucher and Hardy, Matt McCarthy, Kendra Middleton in for the guys.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Because it's a thing.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
No idea what you're talking about.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub.
Almost tripped. Going deep ball downfield towards Booty. Booty tackled by Humphrey, who slaps the ball away.
What just happened?
I don't see a flag, and it was not a catch because he got slapped away. And that was a conversation.
It looked like Booty.
It's called incomplete. And is there no flag on the play?
Incomplete pass. Second down.
Oh, that's a tackle on the part of Humphrey. And the ball never got settled, and then he just swatted the thing away.
Oh, my goodness. Well, you saw it live.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I couldn't understand. I was like, what happened?
I called it in the middle of the play. He was wrapped up, and then it got slapped away. The athletic training staff is looking at Keyshawn Booty, who is injured.
I mean, under any circumstance, getting tackled counts as pass interference.
Wow, did Baltimore dodge one there? My goodness. He comes down with the ball. Terry, let's just go over why that's not a catch there, as Booty is brought down by Humphrey and has it against his chest.
Yeah, he really never had control and maintained control during and after contact through the ground with the ground. So incomplete pass for sure.
Now a harder question: why is that not pass interference?
It's not really hard. That's pass interference. That's obvious pass interference, Chris.
All right.
Not a hard question at all.
Okay.
No, thank God we had Terry McCauley to break down that was indeed pass interference. Actually, I really don't want to crap on McCauley because I think he's pretty good at what he does. I mean, you watch the 2-point conversion the other night. McCauley was all over it in that Thursday night game. I don't know why Tirico's first question to him is, Terry, how is this not pass interference? That was some corrupt level BS last night. That was happening in front of you in real time. Somebody had the Ravens. What was the spread in the game?
3.
And they were up
3.5. I think it yesterday went from 3.5. I had it at 3 on Tuesday. It got up to 3.5. I think it jumped to 4.5 for like a couple hours yesterday.
So the spread was 3.5.
Back to 3.5.
And at that point, so the Ravens were up 3.5. Yeah.
Most of the money was on the Patriots, though. Pretty much all of the money was on the Patriots. I want to say it was like a 78% split.
I don't know what that is. Follow the money somewhere. How that isn't pass interference, that was corrupt in real time in front of you. And I'm not the ref basher. That is not what I do.
Same.
I'm not that person. Okay. Thank you very much.
Hell yeah.
That was some so incompetent it can't be incompetent. It was that bad.
It was bad. And that's the thing is, I said this to you earlier. I am not the type to sit here. I don't want to talk about the refs. If you really are the better team, I think despite getting bad calls, because we all get bad calls, you should win the game.
But that's what the Patriots proved.
Yeah.
That's the number one takeaway from that non-call last night is the Patriots didn't pout. They didn't melt down. They drove down the field and
scored a touchdown anyway.
Got the biggest score of the year. The growth they showed you in that fourth quarter, and particularly on that final scoring drive, after getting absolutely screwed, in clear as day, blatantly screwed, it didn't affect them. They did also then get away with a what should have been a pick six, but the football gods rewarded them on that, and they drove down the field and they scored, and they won the game in spite of what happened to them. That's a growth moment right there.
Ty Anderson and I had a really good talk about refereeing yesterday, and he made a good point that a lot of these referees are dinosaurs. And when they started refereeing, the game was a lot different. It wasn't as fast. The people weren't as strong. They weren't as athletic. Like, we genuinely, due to technology and how far sports medicine and everything has come, have built just superhuman, insane athletes. I mean, look at, I want to talk about the DK Metcalf thing at some point, but the dude eats, a protein shake and a bag of Skittles a day, and he's built like a Greek god. Like, we have kind of literally maybe engineered this type of athlete as humans, and just impressive yesterday from them. Just the fact that we have, and that's the thing is back to the Ty Anderson thing. He was saying yesterday that the refs, just because of this, haven't been able to keep up with how fast the game has gotten, and they're missing calls, and everything has just kind of become about whatever their opinion of the call is. Like, even from pass interference to roughing the passer, it's all just been what their definition of it is that day.
Well, the Mark Andrews play at the end of the first half, the roughing the passer on Huntley, I mean, no way. Not in a million years.
That was
is that
bumping
roughing the
passer.
Yes. Do we have that reaction too to that play?
Oh, I can find that.
An incredible call from Tirico yesterday, too. Like, I really appreciate the crews that will call out bad refereeing because a lot of them are scared to. There was another moment with that Mike.
Buck and Aikman are really good at that.
Yeah, they are. They are probably the best at it, but I do appreciate a crew that will do it at all. But Mark Andrews, when he had that weird not lateral pass thing yesterday, the Tirico reaction, I asked Garvin to clip that too. We can get it at some point, but we need to hear that because that was hysterical.
We have it, Garvin?
Scoop Hundley, Tyler Hundley. At it to Mark Andrews, middle of the field. Anderson can pitch it back, and that should be a fumble recovered by the Patriots. What is he doing? Carlton Davis recovers. Patriots blow the 40. However, there is a flag down back by the quarterback, and there as well. Maybe it was forward.
What is he doing?
What is he doing?
Not only is he pitching the ball, he's pitching it forward. It was an illegal forward pass, and yet the Patriots should have gotten the ball there because that was they called a roughing the passer that did not exist. The fact of the matter is, Kendra, the NFL's not serious about fixing officiating because the officials are not full-time employees. So if you want to actually get these guys in the building, get them training, year-round to officiate these games, you need to actually give them dental insurance.
They make make good money.
The owners are too cheap to do it.
Which is crazy.
They're too cheap to do it. So I don't want to hear anybody in the NFL complain about the quality of officiating because the league itself is not serious about fixing the officiating.
Clock it, McCarthy. Clock it.
They're not good.
That's
they're not
the other thing, too.
about it.
I do think that we would see refereeing change in real time if they did have to address the media after. But the other thing is people are talking about coaches maybe being able to challenge penalties, and you wouldn't have enough challenge flags in the world for that.
The challenging pass interference thing was a debacle. It wasn't good. It was a tough product. It was tough for fans to watch at home.
No, totally. Because when you stop the game,
overturned.
when you stop the game, the number of flags already is insufferable. But something's got to change.
Bad calls are going to happen. There were bad calls last night. I can generally live with a bad call, but the quality of officiating around the league is not as good as it needs to be. But the league isn't serious about fixing it.
Across sports.
Yeah.
It's been a really bad year for refereeing across sports.
I mean, listen, part of it is just fans can't accept a bad call. Bad calls are going to happen. The robot's not going to fix it, by the way. The robot has not fixed first downs.
No.
You know why we now have the virtual measurement? It's because you couldn't accept the fact that the refs kind of screwed up some first down measurements in that Bills Chief game.
Because they don't check where the ball should be via the cameras. The refs spot the ball, and they just measure where it is if it's close. Like, you're still getting the interference of a human being regardless.
Undeniably, there's a better system than what we have. It's not all the robots because, as we've seen, robots break. Robots can take too long.
The Waymos in San Francisco this week. Did you see those?
I did not. I don't want to see them. Self-driving cars, out on that.
Love them.
You know what happens to computers? They break. Have you ever had to restart your computer? Yeah. You know what I don't want to have to restart? My car when I'm going 85 on 128. I don't want to have to restart that. I will drive it myself. Thank you very much.
You're a speed demon? You got a lead foot over there?
No comment on that. At 10 a.m. I would
What kind of car are you driving?
I would like the Massachusetts State
What are
Police
you hitting 85 in?
I would like the Massachusetts State Police to ignore the Mazda that will be going down 128. 617-779-0985. John's in the car. Hey, John.
Yeah, hey guys. I'm not here to defend the referees because I think by and large it's subpar for sure. But look, the NFL changes the rules every year and the points of emphasis every year so often that it's almost impossible for these veteran referees to calibrate what they've seen their entire life when it changes constantly. So that's part.
Couldn't agree more about that. The sport has undeniably gotten more complex, harder to officiate, but the league is not
with
serious.
Bigger, better, faster, stronger guys.
Yes, exactly. But the league is not serious enough about getting more out of the officials because they don't want to bring them in full time.
Like, I know what a catch is. I don't know what an NFL catch is anymore. I've been watching this sport my entire life, and the second pass to DeAndre Hopkins on 3rd and long could have been a catch, easily could not have been a catch. I don't understand what the criteria is anymore because it feels like the emphasis changes.
All right, we'll continue. It's Toucher and Hardy, Matt McCarthy, Kendra Middleton in for the guys. Alex Barth is going to join us from 8 to 10, so we'll get a breakdown from him. Coming up next, Mike Reese on his way back from Baltimore is going to join us. We'll do that next.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Your Patriots primetime winners last night against the Baltimore Ravens. Drake May 31 of 44 for 380 yards, 2 touchdowns in the 28-24 victory. Ramondre Stevenson, Hunter Henry, and Kyle Williams, your touchdown scorers. Lots of injuries for everyone involved last night. The Ravens losing Lamar Jackson to what was ruled a back injury. As far as the Patriots go, Travion Henderson, Joshua Mumford, Charles Woods, Kyrus Tonga, Joshua Farms, and Pop Douglas all sustained injuries in last night's victory. Up next, the Patriots have the Jets Sunday at 1. And the Red Sox made some moves last night, acquiring first baseman Wilson Contreras from the St. Louis Cardinals. They also received $8 million in cash towards his remaining salary, and they sent out Hunter Dobbins and 2 prospects in the deal. Bruins drop a third in a row last night to Ottawa. They allowed 3 goals in the first and second period for a final score of 6-2 in favor of Ottawa. Eunice Corpusalo got the start but was replaced by Jeremy Swayman after giving up 5 goals on 17 shots. Bruins are off today but back at it tomorrow hosting Montreal. And the Celtics are back on the court tonight. They beat the Raptors on Saturday. They welcome the Pacers to town tonight, though. We've got you covered with Brandy and Max with pregame at 7 and tip-off at 7:30. Sports Up headlines are brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Enjoy the game with the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Because when it's game time, it's Tully time. Please drink responsibly. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub, Boston's home for sports. I'm Kendra Middleton, and your next update around 7:30.
If you've got the app, you've got Toucher and Hardy to wake you up no matter where you are.
Or who may or may not have been to jail.
Get the app. The 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Toucher and Hardy.
Such an fantastic explosion.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
The Patriots now on top by 4. And now May waits in the gun. He's got Stevenson to his left, 1:34 to go. Ravens are out of timeout. Snap to Drake. Fakes to Ramondre. He runs to the left. Quarterback to the 20. Quarterback to the 15. Quarterback to the 10. And there's the slide. Drake May is down at the 9-yard line. And the Patriots with 1:22 and counting are going to celebrate a win in Baltimore.
A lot of Patriots fans in Baltimore last night.
I was just going to say that. Very impressive showing from the Pats fans. You could hear them on the TV and you could hear them on the radio call.
Multiple times during the broadcast last night, especially, of course, at the end of the game. Patriots pick up a 28-24 win. A lot to get to. Mike Reese will join us at 7:20. I said he was coming up now. I didn't know. I was ill-prepared and unprofessional, and I apologize to you, Kendra, and to everybody else out there.
You need another cookie.
I do. It's going to power me through. I'm doing okay. I'm not going to lie. I'm doing okay. I'm not as tired as I should be. The crash is coming at some point. Again, heroic effort for me showing up here and doing a radio program this morning after a Sunday night football game.
I'm struggling because I had to wake up and exercise an Australian Shepherd and put mascara on.
Sounds like a you problem.
Yeah.
It's very much a you problem.
Yeah,
it's
having
not
a dog
me problem.
in the winter and doing the morning drive, not for the weak.
Heroic.
Yeah.
Strong-willed performance from Kendra today. To you, 617-779-0985. How about Matt in Woburn? Hi, Matt.
Hey, am I on? I can barely hear you there.
We're on. Yes, you're on.
Yep. Oh, awesome. Sorry. Hey, I had a question about that forward pass. So, how is that not an interception? How is that not a fumble? The reason I ask is the ball left his hands. He's not the passer. He's out of the pocket. It didn't hit the ground. It went right into, I don't care that it's illegal, like it went into our hands. I just didn't understand it.
So there was an offsetting penalty, which is why the Patriots didn't get the ball. They called a ridiculous roughing the passer. So you replay the down.
I forgot that was the BS roughing the passer.
Yes.
And you gotta love that. They ran into our kicker a few plays later on a punt. We got nothing. That was awesome.
It was not the strongest night for the officials. We'll put it that way.
Let me ask you something. Do you think that in the end the calls evened out or no?
No, I think the Patriots were on the short end of the stick when it came to that, but they overcame it. And the same way they overcame a really bad third quarter, May overcame, I think, 3 bad quarters, to be totally honest. I know he passed for 380, but it was sloppy at best. He turned the ball over. It was really bad in the third. They did nothing offensively for an entire quarter coming out of the half. The defense at times was gashed in the game. The Henry fumble changed the game in the first quarter because that was trending towards a 14-0 deficit. Good play by Hawkins to get the ball out, but that's a soft fumble by Derrick Henry's standards.
Hey, they have been all season for him.
I know. Yeah, he's had fumbling problems. And maybe the Ravens were concerned about ball security, which is why they didn't put him out there to try to ice the game when they were up in the fourth.
I feel like he would tell you if that was the case, and you could literally anything sounds better than he didn't feel like being out there. Wait, can you give us the quote one more time? Can you pull that up? Because
Derek was kind of ready for Keaton to start that drive.
What? I don't care. You're
such a good teammate.
Like, are you joking me? Could you imagine?
With your starting quarterback out, too.
Yeah. I don't really, you know what? Oh,
That's a coach trying to save his ass, I think. That's Harbaugh throwing Henry under the bus because, to your point, if I'm in Baltimore, I'm looking at Harbaugh today saying, has this thing run its course?
Well, and that's the thing is that I think it's a similar situation to what was going on with the Titans, right? Great coach, just no longer the right situation with Mike Vrabel and Tennessee. Like, same thing. He's going to go somewhere else. He's going to have success. It's going to be fine. But I think both sides need a change of pace. And that quote really sealed the deal on that being my final answer to that question.
Let's go to Danny in Boston. Hi, Danny.
How you doing? Kendra, I'm impressed with your Jaguars. That was the best win of the season for them, the best win of the week. And Lawrence is starting to look good, really good. And I was just very impressed with him. And I was impressed with the Patriots win. I had money on the game, and I thought they were going to lose. And I got one more thing for Mr. McCarthy.
Hi, Danny.
Did I hear that right? You're getting a hair transplant?
I should. No, I need one.
You should.
He's booked the flight. He's going to Turkey.
Take it from a guy that had one. It's a waste of money. If you're going to do that, listen. If you're going to do that, go to the hair club. I'm not saying I'm a member, but you get your money's worth.
Okay. Thank you, Danny. No,
I love Danny.
I want a hair transplant. And it's going to be good here, and I don't need to go to Turkey. We got people here who can do it.
It costs you a fraction of the price, though. You know, there's like I think there's like a Boston dental office that has a location in like Dubai or Turkey, right?
I mean, there might be. I
think that like Boston is expanding to Dubai.
I can get the best medical care in the world here in Boston. I don't need to go anywhere else.
Dr. Lopresti, McCarthy's looking.
I'm telling you. You think I need to go to Turkey? I just go down the street. Dr. Lopresti will take care of me.
Dr. Lopresti would take care of you.
Take care of me. You kidding me? Fly to Turkey? Go to Istanbul? If I'm going to Istanbul, I'm going on vacation. I'm not going for a medical procedure.
I would love to go to Turkey.
I was going to say there's somebody, a very high-profile person who I believe went to Dr. Leonard and Dr. Lopresti. I won't say who it is because I don't think you're allowed to say it, but he looks good. He always has.
Okay.
Always looks good.
Well, I mean, Scal is openly like an endorser of theirs, and his locks are luscious.
Who's the best team in the AFC after yesterday?
Ooh. I feel like you have to say the Patriots, but with all of the injuries that they had yesterday, I don't know how that has.
You see, I think last night, Kendra, it's such a good win for them because it shows progress is being made. They pick up a big win on Sunday Night Football. May has an 11-point comeback in the fourth quarter, but they also showed their problems in a big way last night. I didn't think they were the best team in the AFC going into that game. I don't think they're the best team in the AFC coming out of that game.
Who would you say? Because before yesterday, I would have said the Houston Texans. Right now, like just right now, if you put everything in a bubble, who do I not want to play right now? It would have been the Houston Texans. But I watched Ashton Genty almost beat the Texans yesterday. Pete Carroll almost cooked again. The Texans looked beatable yesterday, but everybody did. Everybody looked beatable yesterday. The Steelers, I have to say, I was very impressed by them. I don't think that they're a Super Bowl contender, but I think they could win a playoff game.
So who's the best team? It's not Buffalo because they're not the best team.
It's you guys in Denver.
But who's winning the AFC? Allen's the best quarterback remaining. So I take Buffalo.
Not even a question.
I take Buffalo.
Yeah, and that's the thing
in that spot.
Yeah.
I still believe after yesterday, and Jacksonville goes into Denver, like the 1, 2, 3 in the AFC, I think there's a better chance that the winner of the conference is going to come from the 5, 6, 7 in the playoffs compared to the 1, 2, 3. I still believe in the bottom of the playoff picture a little bit more than I do in the top. And I felt that way all year long, and that did not change yesterday.
So
I don't believe in the Jaguars. Sorry. I don't believe in Bo Nix. And I don't believe in the Patriots' depth. And with these injuries piling up now, they got exposed at times last night. Now, they overcame that, which is really good, but last night does have something to do with Baltimore, too.
What do you think about the Chargers?
I don't believe in that team, and I never believe in that team.
Justin Herbert has negative clutch gene.
Yeah. It's the Chargers. It's the uniform. But you're right. I mean, you can. I think the Chargers are better than Denver. I have not bought in on Denver all year long.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Chargers can still win that division.
So I just pulled everything up. AFC number 1 seed, Denver wins tiebreak over New England based on best win percentage in their common games, obviously. And then the Chargers can win a tiebreak over Buffalo based off of their win percentage in conference games.
The Chargers can still win the division, though, right?
Yes. But yes, they can. They can. No, they cannot. No, yeah, sorry. I was looking at the wrong thing. They have 11 wins. Denver has 12. Yeah, so they could, but they need some help. Denver's schedule is tough, I will say.
Yes, it is. The point being the AFC playoff picture is wide open. So
I can't even keep track.
How do you
the picture of Charlie Day with the whiteboard? I was talking yesterday with Ty Anderson trying to figure out who needs what to get where, and we still have the Colts game tonight.
Yep. Oh, it's as wide open as I can ever remember. So who do you like more, the Patriots or the field? I'll just take the field at this point, just because I think there is not much to separate pretty much everybody.
It's the injuries. It's a major
factor.
I know we're going to learn more about who's going to be available in the next 48 hours for practice and whatnot coming this week, and have a better idea of. And that's the other thing, is that there was a lot of injuries across the NFL in general yesterday, and it's a short week for 6 teams. So, and do we have Saturday games this week? Are there Saturday games?
I'm sure there are.
I bet there
Saturday
are.
Games this
have
week.
to be Saturday games, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At this time of year, they're definitely
Saturday games. So short.
Love a good Saturday game.
Short weeks.
Hell of a game on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Bears Packers.
That was. Do you think that game was better than the Rams-Seattle game?
I missed most of the Rams-Seattle game, so I can't give you a take on it.
Tough. I
caught the very end. It was great, but
I think it depends on whether you prefer kind of a more defensive football situation. But once Jordan Love went down and you got Malik Willis, I'm going to go with no, just because we watched, Stafford and Sam Darnold duke it out the entire game. So I feel like I have to say Seattle and LA.
Donovan in Kansas. Donovan.
Hey, like you guys were talking about, I'm not fully sold on this Patriots team, and I guess it's because of all the injuries. As soon as Milton Williams goes down, you become the worst rush defense in football. Carlton Davis can't stay on the field. And if May isn't doing MVP things the whole game, this team struggles.
They've got issues.
Douglas absolutely disappeared during that game.
He also got hurt, I think, and I'll let you go on that because we're up against it. You have a problem with my Milton Williams take that he's the best player on the Patriots?
I'm in the gray area on it. I don't think it's a terrible I think he means a lot to the team, but I don't know how you take it away from Drake May.
Again, the quarterback thing is so hard to compare because quarterback is the most important position in sports. Defensive tackle is not. I just think Williams is that good. I think we criminally underrate him, and that defense has been completely different without him.
I know we're up against it, but the vibe check of everyone this morning is that we love the win, gritty win, good for team morale. Don't feel good moving forward.
Well, I think that's the way to really look at that game last night. The program's making progress. Drake May leads a comeback. Down 11 points. They were excellent. It's the best fourth quarter they've played since the Brady era. It was that good and that important, and things are trending in the right direction. But they have issues, and we know they have issues. Let's not, look at it with blinders on. Doesn't mean that I'm not thrilled with where they're at, because you should be thrilled with where they're at. And they showed you something last night that they haven't showed you in a long, long time. So you should be very excited about that. We'll get to Mike Reese's thoughts coming up next.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Going to the
Fred describes himself in 7 words.
A guy in tights and a cape.
And Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Toucher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub.
Jamelli. Nobody's here. Except us. Kendra Middleton's here. Matt McCarthy. We head out to the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Joining us as he does after every Patriots game, the great Mike Reese. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning, Kendra. How are we doing this morning? Kendra, you must be fired up with your team.
I am so happy. And I was just talking to McCarthy. I'm texting one of my best friends from home, and everybody's hating on the Jags. Keep sleeping on them.
Mike, it's 5 minutes during every commercial break talking about how great the Jags are. It's an experience.
You're a liar. Don't make people bully me. Don't lie and make people bully me.
It's been a lot. There's been a lot of Jaguars talk this morning. Well, I mean, I get it. It's very exciting. It's very,
Let me have this.
It's such a great time of year, when for football, right? And I think for Kendra's team, it's unbelievable. And then for the Patriots, I think last night was a breakthrough. That was a type of game that, what stood out? I'll tell you, we're down there after the game and talking to players, coaches, executives, the unusual nature of they were in the same spot last night that they were the week before. Getting the ball, late fourth quarter, chance to win the game. They don't do it last week. And then to be in the same spot the next week, for them to be able to pull it off, I can't even begin to tell you how much I think they felt like it was so big for them to be able to do that, just the way that unfolded, the resilience that they showed to win that game in that situation.
I mean, Drake May called it the elephant in the room, Mike, coming off of the Buffalo game last week where they were not good in the second half. I mean, is it fair to say that there were stretches in this game where the Patriots were not very good? I mean, I've made the argument this morning that I don't think Drake May was particularly good for a lot of this game, but the fourth quarter was a completely different story. And, they got a notch under their belt that they hadn't quite had yet.
Matt, 31 straight losses when they had a double-digit fourth-quarter deficit.
Wow.
31 straight losses with a double-digit fourth-quarter deficit. So to me, yes, it is fair to say that there were parts of that game where they weren't operating. It looked like they were going to lose to Tyler Huntley and the Ravens, backup quarterback. And to be able to pull it out, it reminded me a little bit of some of the glory years with Tom Brady when there were games like that with Tom where, for 3 quarters, it's a tractor pull. And then Tom just put his foot on the gas pedal in the fourth quarter and they pulled it out. And I felt like, in a way, there was some of that in this game last night from Drake.
Mike, I know nobody wants to talk about injuries after a victory, but I want to get a little bit of a vibe check because I think the injuries are now the new elephant in the room moving forward. Can you give us any updates, any thoughts of just the plethora of injuries that the Patriots sustained last night?
Kendra, it was crazy. They had 8 players leave the game with injuries. I think of the 8, 2 returned, Morgan Moses and Thayer Munford, and they probably wouldn't have returned if they didn't have circumstances that sort of forced them to come back in the game. There was a great moment in the tunnel when Mike Vrabel greets every player coming back to the locker room after every game, and Morgan Moses, the 34-year-old offensive tackle, oldest player on the team, is coming back, and Mike Vrabel just wraps both of his arms around him and just stands there for call it 5 seconds or so, just telling him, I could feel it, how much he appreciated him gutting through it. Kairos Tonga, defensive tackle, had a boot on his foot, and he was greeting everyone coming into the locker room. But in terms of, I think the question getter is how many of those are longer term, and I think Tonga's the one that I didn't look great, right? He wasn't even, in uniform at the end of the game. So that's the one that stands out to me. The others, I think, concussions, Travion Henderson, you never want to take those. You never know the timeline on those, but usually a week or two. And Booty, Keyshawn Booty, same thing. He looked a little bit out of sorts after the game. So I think I think most of them are going to be in the shorter term, 1 to 2 week, but Tonga was the one that stood out to me that might be a little longer.
Mike, how much of last night is about the Patriots? How much of last night is about the Ravens, which I guess is such a sports talk radio angle? I mean, I think Kendra and I were both in agreement that, I mean, frankly, it's a huge part of both of the stories. I mean, both stories are a huge factor in last night's game. The Patriots have their first, real fourth quarter comeback under Drake May. They were excellent when they needed to be. At the same time, though, the Ravens were up 11. They did so without Lamar Jackson. They did so, I guess, without Derrick Henry, who didn't play in the fourth quarter. Like, how much is the Ravens factor a part in last night's game as well?
Yeah, I'll go 75-25 just to play along. I think it's more about the Patriots. Like, you still got to make those plays. It's 4th and 2 on that drive. You got to make the play. And that's a great play, Matt.
It is.
Made a Diggs, right? Hey, how about this? You have to overcome the officiating a little bit. Like, that was some resolve after that play with Kayshon Boutte on that final drive. So I think more credit to the Patriots. At the same time, Mike Reese said he wants to be a team that takes advantage of bad football. I think he said that his first day on the job. And the Ravens, they were some bad football, and you could say some bad coaching. Like, where's Derrick Henry at the end of the game, right? Like, that's a gift in my view that the Ravens gave the Patriots. That ball security from Zay Flowers, like, that's really sloppy. But you have to be have the identity and mentality to go get that ball, which Caleb on Chason did. So I give more credit to the Patriots, at the same time acknowledging that the Ravens came up small there when the game was on the line as well.
What do you think last night's game did for Drake May's MVP conversation? He finished the game with 2 touchdowns, 380 yards, but he struggled for probably 2.5 quarters, made some questionable throws at times, obviously threw an interception, had a fumble, and he's elevated his receivers, throughout the season the way that we see MVP quarterbacks do. What do you think the conversation kind of changed to, or did it change at all last night?
So I was interested in that. So at ESPN, we have updated. They give you the updates to the minute, Kendra, and it actually didn't move anything on the odds for him as the MVP. Even after Matthew Stafford and the Rams lost last week, Stafford's still number one. I think so. I don't think anything has really changed. But I think the more important thing for May and the Patriots is a win like that can breed such confidence. And I think in that sense, not that they didn't have confidence before, but the ability to have a game like that and win a game like that. Even Mike Reese said it after. I think that's the thing that's changed more than anything.
What about the fake punt, Mike? Which is, I think, one of the most fascinating parts of the game, and the decision making that went into that. Was that a sign of a lack of confidence in the defense? Was it a sign of a lack of confidence in the way the offense was playing at that point? What did you make of that Mike Vrabel decision?
Matt, and it's funny, he wasn't asked about it after the game, and I was thinking about it because you only have so much time there, and it's something we got to follow up with him. Usually on that stuff, Matt, I think it's you're trying to create a spark for your team. They practice that. They practice that all year for the one time, you think you might use it. And my hunch would be, and I don't know this for sure, that's really more probably based on the players, right? Like, hey, if you see something, let's alert to that call. And they must have, if I remember, they went fast, and they must have felt like they had the look or what they wanted to call that. And man, that backfired on them. And again, their ability to overcome that self-inflicted wound is, in one respect, it's like, what are you doing? And in another, it's a great credit to them.
Mike Reese joining us from ESPN, as he always does. Who's the best team in the AFC right now, Mike?
Ooh, so, how do you not say Jacksonville? Kendra, I feel like you set me up for that one, right? They're playing the best right now. To go into Denver and win that game. Houston is tough with their defense, but they sort of battled to beat the Raiders yesterday at home. That caught my eye, but I think probably would have to say the small market Jaguars, right, Kendra?
I will take that answer from you because I feel like they are one of the best teams in the AFC, if not the best AFC team the last month. I just worry about them being able to be consistent in big moments. They have an easy schedule to finish it out. If the Patriots didn't get so injured last night, it's hard not to say them, though. Them in Denver, I don't believe in Bo Nix, but that Denver defense is tough. I thought the Texans, I told this to McCarthy, the Texans would have probably been my answer before yesterday just because I don't want to play that defense. But they looked gettable yesterday against a really, really bad Raiders team.
I mean, I think the point being here is you can probably pick holes in just about every team in the AFC.
That's right.
I don't know if you'd agree with that, Mike.
Yeah, and Matt, as I started to answer, I thought to myself, I probably should have just said it's wide open.
Yeah.
Right? Like you could make a case for any team. Honestly, even Buffalo, and I know they struggled a little bit with Cleveland, but I think that's the league. Right. And it's survive, advance. And I think it's going to set up a great playoffs because really anything could happen.
Speaking of the playoffs, who as a Patriots fan do you want and do you not want to see?
Yeah. So, Kendra, I think my first thought was, who do you want to see? Like, don't you want to crack at the Steelers again?
Yes.
Just right off the bat? Like that week 3 game where they had the 5 turnovers. So I've sort of had that one, marked as one you'd want to see. Who don't you want to see? That's a good question. I mean, the Houston defense is definitely one that caught my eye, but offensively, like, I'm not sure how much firepower is there relative to what you might be able to bring with firepower. Buffalo, I mean, part of me puts them in the Pittsburgh category. You want another crack at them after what happened last week. So I guess Jacksonville, I mean, I have to start paying a little more attention, to be honest with you. Like that win yesterday really caught my eye. I think they're for real as well.
I'm surprised to not hear you, talk a little bit more about Buffalo, just because they have that fire lit under their ass that they're probably not going to get Lamar, no Joe Burrow, no Patrick Mahomes. I would be terrified to face a Buffalo Bills team with that much postseason experience and not even a question to me, the best quarterback left in the AFC.
They have to have the highest stakes of any team entering these playoffs, I would think, given the conference. Your thoughts?
Definitely.
Mike?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the Josh Allen's I go back and forth. Like, part of me is like, you want another crack at him. You had him last week, but then that's Josh Allen, and probably if I had to say when the chips are down, if I could avoid Josh Allen, I'd probably want to avoid Josh Allen.
Is there any chance we're overlooking these next 2 games? I mean, they seem like automatic wins. You get the Jets, you get the Dolphins. It's looking ahead to, playoff pictures and seedings. But, given the state of the team right now with the injuries, Mike, we don't know, what's going to happen here with, Milton Williams moving forward. He's eligible to return, right? Correct? After Baltimore. We've talked about his importance.
McCarthy thinks that he's more important to the team than Drake May.
No, I never said that.
Oh, he said that he was the best
I said
player.
Milton Williams is the best player on the Patriots. There's a difference. Quarterback's the most important position. I mean, your thoughts on Milton Williams and his importance, Mike? I mean, he is. I think that defense has been completely different without him. I think he's that good.
Yeah, and I think 2 things can be true, Matt. Like, I agree. I would caution for thinking him coming back that it's going to just solve a lot of the issues. But pass rush wise, I would say from an interior pass rush standpoint, like, they miss him. And so I agree on that. And in terms of the last 2 games, the only thing I would say is all season long, this team has really answered almost every question like that. Like, they've never been one to really overlook a team. And so I don't worry about that part with the Patriots. Health-wise, 8, we talked about the 8 players that left the game with injury. So I think that's a little bit of a concern. But what I heard from them last night, clinching a playoff berth, they were happy about it, but they said they want the division. And I thought that was really telling to me, like, that they're shooting for more. And so I think with that mindset and mentality, I think they get these next 2 games.
You know, I can't believe it's taken me 15 minutes to ask you about this, Mike. How about your guy Kyle Williams last night? One of the biggest plays of the year. I mean, an unbelievable throw from May, but a great catch from Williams. I mean, I know you have defended Kyle Williams' honor to Mark Bertrand in the middays all year long. Why don't you take a victory lap on that?
No victory lap. But I think, Kyle talked after the game about the importance of beating man coverage, and they felt like that was something they were going to have to do. And I mean, what a catch and to keep his feet down. And, for 25 years, we talked about rookie receivers and the Patriots and developing them. And he's going to be just fine. And part of that is he's got Stephon Diggs ahead of him, Mac Hollins ahead of him, Keyshawn Boutte ahead of him, Pop Douglas ahead of him. It takes players, Matt, like different times to to break out or find their stride, and I think they he's made those big plays down the field, which they've needed, and I think as he grows into his career, we're going to see a lot more of those.
Can we talk enough about the impact that Stephon Diggs has had on this team? I think maybe both on and off the field, in that room. I mean, it feels like the entire wide receiver room has taken a big step. He was tremendous last night. I mean, maybe the best player on the field, certainly on the short list in the game that he had. Mike, his impact, I think, has been borderline immeasurable for this team. It's been that big.
I agree. I mean, the 9 catches, 138 yards last night. He said, prime time, my time. And I feel like he's been there before, and I think his competitive spirit is what stands out to me. I had the binoculars looking down on the field before the game, and he's right in the middle, and he's the one that's leading the team. Watch the video on the Patriots team website of Mike Vrabel addressing the team after the game, and he says, Diggsy, break him down. So I think those are things that show how his voice and his presence, the team feeds off of him. And what he said after the game, and I couldn't agree with him more, it's anyone can do that, but you also need to back it with performance. And I knew right when he had that catch on the first drive, when he actually went to the medical tent and he was trying to get out of the back of the tent, because he's like, why are you asking me if I have a concussion? It was my shoulder. He talked about that after the game, but I knew when he had that first catch, when he gets going early, sometimes the team feeds off that, and I think he feeds off that, and they needed that last night, and they're going to need that going forward if they want to go where they want to go.
Mike, you're getting a lot of love from Jags Twitter in my mentions, I have to tell you. But final question from me, outside of what we've kind of already hit on, the obvious, the injuries and Drake May's fourth quarter comeback, what was your biggest takeaway from last night? Maybe something that would have slid under the radar had we not brought it up.
Definitely, Kendra. How about turnovers? Like, you see the importance of the turnovers for the defense. Going into this game, they had only forced 3 turnovers in the last 6 games. And, when they get the strip of Derrick Henry, Jalen Hawkins, a great play, Caleb on Chason, to get the ball back with Zay Flowers sort of holding it away from his body there. I think the defense, because of the way it's put together, like they don't necessarily have like game changers on defense, players that single-handedly can change a game. So they have to play a certain style to be successful. And I think the turnovers make a huge difference for them, and they got to keep that up going forward.
All right, Mike, safe travels back if you're not back from Baltimore already. Get some rest. I know these night games are tough turnarounds for everybody involved. You on midday at all this week, Mike? We're going to have you for an hour?
Yes, I'm going to come in with you, Matt, and Leroy tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Wow, you unprepared. Happy holidays, Mike.
So unprepared. I just show up at this time of year and they tell me who I'm working with, and I'm very happy about that. That makes my holiday season. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. Mike will break it all down.
Definitely. All right, great being on with you. Have a great rest of the show.
Sounds good. That is Mike Reese from ESPN joining us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. What a week.
Hell yeah.
What a week. Very happy. You were very happy about his Jaguars take.
I was shocked to hear it because media, the media in general has been sleeping on the Jags, and I don't blame them. The small market thing is true, and they've been horrible for a long time. But they have been pretty lucky with the injuries and the health and how Trevor Lawrence is kind of, I think he's just been one of these guys, and I am expecting an absolute Trevor Lawrence stinker game from him at some point.
Yeah, it's going to be in the playoffs.
But
in the first round.
Exactly. But I think that he's one of these guys who maybe was just a late bloomer, third coach, whatever. I think he was just like a late bloomer.
I was too. And look at where it got me. Filling in the morning after a Patriots game. Well, I mean, I've made it. What can I say? Alex Barth joining the program at 8 o'clock today. Patriots calls on the board. We will also mix in a very quick thought on the Red Sox. They did make a relatively significant move last night. We'll get into that, but we're pretty much all Patriots today. We'll continue. It's Matt McCarthy and Kendra Middleton in for Toucher and Hardy.
Sports Hub headlines presented by
individuals who seek acceptance, respite, and care.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
Come on, Hunter. Come on, Mo. Make this quick, fellas. You put yourselves in a football game, and you went out, and I saw you compete your asses off, okay? Road Warriors, we talked about it, winning together. Listen to me. We had guys step up, okay? We had guys go down. Everybody contributed to this win, okay? And we got some players in here that are starting to realize what they can do, okay? We had some guys that make it to the game. Again, I'm proud to be your coach. Okay, but we got a long way to go. I want you to realize what your potential is and what we can do if you just compete and stick together. Rest, we got a short week, we got Christmas, we got a schedule, you got families, we got work to do. We're far from being done. Diggsy, break the...
Hey, I love you boys. That's way to fight and come in here with that mindset, all right? Hey, we all we got!
We all we need!
Gang on three, 1, 2, 3!
Yeah.
Just a huge game for Stephon Diggs last night, 9 for 138. How about the moment where he gets pulled out of the game? He basically tries to fight everybody on the sideline who's forcing him to go into the medical tent. They report he sneaks out the back of the medical tent and gets in the game.
I don't care what anybody says. I love him. I love him so much. Him and Cardi B, love.
He's changed everything for this offense.
I was going to say I questioned his ability to be a leader. Not so much on the field. Like, he's 31 years old, coming off of an injury. Like, I didn't expect him to be this good, but I didn't expect him to be bad. But it's more so they brought him in and you knew that he was going to be called upon to play a leadership role because this roster at the end of the day is still pretty young in comparison to some of the other teams around the NFL, and he's a star player. He's surpassed everything, every expectation I had for him. They respect him. And after, I didn't know if that was going to be the case.
It's the best piece of production I've heard here at this station in a long time.
It is art.
I questioned his ability to lead. I questioned his ability to play coming off of the ACL on the other side of 30. He has blown all of my expectations out of the water. He's been outstanding. To you, Benny in Worcester. Hey, Benny.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thank you guys for being here. Daily listeners, we appreciate you guys taking your time to do the show. It's been amazing.
Thanks.
So real quick, I think the biggest fumble has been the Ravens. That game was in their pocket and they let it slip. Their running game last night was impressive. And I believe the defense needs to work a little harder on preventing that from happening.
Yeah, I don't think the defense was great last night. For stretches of the game, they were excellent when they needed to be in the fourth quarter, though. And obviously the Ravens helped them out by not putting Derrick Henry on the field for a single snap in the fourth quarter.
He didn't feel like it, McCarthy.
That's the update. He just didn't want to.
Derrick was kind of ready for Keaton to start that drive.
They caught a break on that one for sure. Tim in Nashua. Hey, Tim.
So really concerned about the injuries in the depth. But, I mean, talking about, the offense, they need more support for, let Drake May do, all the play calling, because I think in the second half, he really took control of the game. I don't know how you guys feel, but sometimes when they do those ticky-tacky runs, I just feel like they just need to let him cook. How do you guys feel?
If there's one term I hate in 2025,
are you going to say let him cook?
Let him cook.
I hate the 6-7 thing.
Let Drake cook. He threw for 380 yards. All right, and that's just a simple I don't like the offensive coordinator, and I'll always blame the play caller when things don't go well. Drake May was not very good for 3 quarters last night. He racked up the yards, but he turned the ball over twice. Both were inexcusable situationally. Tried to fumble the ball when he hit Westover on a handoff in the third quarter. The third quarter was a mess, and then he put it together in the fourth quarter. I don't think play calling had anything to do, win or lose, with the game last night. You know what happened is that Drake May took a massive step forward and led an 11-point fourth quarter comeback. That's what happened.
It was just the uncharacteristic, questionable throws into weirdly tight windows that he made at times. I said this in the first segment. He could have been picked off 5 times last night. They were lucky that it was just the one.
Turnover-worthy plays. We can look that up this morning. That had to be his highest game for turnover-worthy plays in quite some time. Yet he overcame that, and he bounced back from that, which he showed a resilience last night that he has not well, frankly, had the opportunity to show much of this year because they have led in the majority of their games. And as Mike Reese pointed out, it's been over 30 games since the Patriots, 31 straight games that they've trailed in the fourth quarter, that they have not come back in?
Yeah.
What was the stat? I've already forgotten because I'm half asleep. Real quick, 2 quick minutes on the Red Sox trade last night, which is relatively significant. First and foremost, the things the Red Sox have done this offseason, the actual things they've done have been good. This offseason still, though, is more about the things that they have not done. They have not gotten a number 2 starter. They have not gotten, a true middle-of-the-order bat. But Contreras so the Red Sox traded Hunter Dobbins. If you missed this last night, they traded Hunter Dobbins and 2 pitching prospects who you've never heard of, and I've never heard of, for Wilson Contreras, former catcher. He moved to first base last year. 20 home run guy every single year. Pretty good defender at first base. He's really quite solid there. He's an above-average defender, according to all of the metrics at first base. The Red Sox got better last night, and they got better for a relatively cheap price, which, of course, they generally care about, not only financially, but also in regards to what they sent out for Contreras. The moves they've made this offseason have been good. The only problem is they're not enough. If Wilson Contreras is your big move in the lineup, that's not enough. If Sonny Gray is your big move in the rotation, that's not enough. But the 2 big moves they have made so far, the 2 significant moves they have made so far this offseason, both of them have been shrewd moves from Craig Breslow. Breslow won that trade again last night. Shocker, by the way, that he's defeated Hein Bloom both times in the trade. That Breslow has won both of the trades he's made with Hein Bloom.
So take the big picture out of it. Like, let's say we're neutral on if they're going to make another move. Do you like it or not?
Oh, yes. In a vacuum, this is a very good move. Contreras is a significant upgrade at first base for a team that has not had a first base solution for years. He has pop. He's a good hitter. He's on the wrong side of 30. He's probably trending downwards, but at Fenway Park, right-handed hitter. If you look at the metrics, he should be a really good hitter at Fenway. This is a really nice move that the Sox made last night. But again, if you look at it just in a vacuum, you say, "Oh, that's a B+, A- move. That's really good." But in the context of the entire offseason, we do need to say if this is their big move in the lineup, it's not enough. Because he's not a 35 home run hitter. He's a 20 home run hitter. He's a good defender, so sneaky, that's one of the biggest parts of this deal, is he's a good defender at first base, and the Red Sox have not had that in pretty much a decade at this point. So for a team that has a lot of defensive problems, Contreras is really going to help them. I really like this move, but again, it's not enough. If this is your only move, that's not good enough. And I do worry about that. I do worry that they're going to say, well, this is it. We fixed our first base problem, and maybe we'll re-sign Bregman or whatever. And no, you're kind of just slightly breaking it, doing a little better than breaking even. They still need to do more.
Where do you align with the current Bregman situation after this?
You have to overpay for him.
Do you think they're going to?
No, I don't. But you have to overpay for him because you cannot. Your team is worse without him. If not, you have to. He's so important. He's so important, for a young team that still does not know how to win. And knowing how to win matters, which is why I look at that game last night for the Patriots and I say they learned a little something about winning. And you come back in the fourth quarter down 11, despite the issues that you saw in the first 3 quarters of the game with May, with the defense, losing to Tyler Huntley. All of those things are true. But learning how to win matters in sports. Having guys in a locker room who have won before matters in sports, which is why Bregman matters so much to the Red Sox, and it's why last night means so much to the Patriots in the manner that they won that game.
Do you think that they kind of were like, oh, well, if we get Contreras, people will be okay if we let Bregman go? Do you think that that's kind of the mentality?
Well, I don't think they care about what you think. I don't think they care about the fans. If there's one thing the Red Sox don't care about, it's the fans. So I think they will be stuck in their ways. They will, if they get Bregman at their price, and more importantly, at their years, they'll be okay with it.
I did laugh when I saw and $8 million cash from Jeff Passan. I was like, yeah, sounds about right.
Yes, of course. Of course, the Red Sox found they really are. Hein Bloom is the perfect trade partner with the Red Sox. The Red Sox don't want to pay players, and Bloom doesn't want good players on his big league roster, and he'll happily pay you to take them. So long as he gets an extra lottery ticket or two in return, you give him an extra pitching prospect. And again, the 2 pitching prospects who they sent in this deal, you and I have never heard of. But Heim's very, very happy. So he'll pay you to take a good baseball player. Just trade for the entire St. Louis Cardinals.
You walked in here and I go, who the hell are these guys?
And I'd say they don't matter, but they matter to Heim. Oh, he's very happy this morning. He is very happy to have made his team worse.
Do you
And
think
the Red
Hunter
Sox are
Dobbins' father hates the Cubs now?
He definitely hates the Red Sox now. I'm gonna miss Dobbins. He's a gamer, and most importantly, I'm gonna miss his dad. That guy's a lunatic.
I grew up hating the Cubs.
Oh, Cubs drafted me.
My dad played for the Cardinals. I hate the Cubs.
617-779-0985. Alex Barth joining the program until 10 o'clock. We'll break it all down next.
You're listening to Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Last night in the Patriots' victory over the Baltimore Ravens, Drake May went 31 of 44 for 380 yards and 2 touchdowns in the 28-24 victory. Ramondre Stevenson, Hunter Henry, and Kyle Williams, your touchdown scorers. Lots of injuries for everyone involved. Patriots going to be up and down the injury report this week. Ravens also lost Lamar Jackson last night to what was ruled a back injury. Up next, the Patriots have the Jets in East Rutherford on Sunday at 1 p.m. Red Sox made some moves last night, acquiring Wilson Contreras from the St. Louis Cardinals. They also received $8 million in cash towards his remaining salary. Very Red Sox. They sent out Hunter Dobbins and 2 pitching prospects in the deal. Bruins dropped another last night, their third in a row against the Ottawa Senators. Your final score 6-2 Ottawa. Korpisalo got the start but was eventually pulled for Jeremy Swayman after giving up 5 goals on just 17 shots. Bruins off today but back at it tomorrow against Montreal at home. And the Celtics are back on the court tonight after beating the Raptors on Saturday. They welcome the Pacers to town. We've got you covered with Randy and Max with pregame at 7 and tip-off at 7:30. And your Sports Up headlines were brought to you by the Sylvan Street Grill in Peabody and Salisbury. Sylvan Street Grill gift cards make the perfect holiday gift. Stop by Peabody or Salisbury to purchase or buy online at sylvanstreetgrill.com. Eat, drink, and chill at the Sylvan Street Grill. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub, Boston's home for sports. I'm Kendra Middleton, and your next update is 8:30-ish.
To us, Boston pride runs deep.
I'm a Bostonian!
This is Boston's home for sports.
Bow, bow, bow!
98.5 The Sports Hub.
My buddy and me.
With friends like these.
To climb up a tree.
You know.
We're the best friends you can be. My buddy and me.
Now, more of your best morning buddies. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a wake-up call last week. Like, we got a chance to win the game with the game-winning drive, and this week it was like, man, let's not have that same feeling 2 weeks in a row. And I felt like that, and it was kind of elephant in the room, kind of going out there and that last once the defense got the ball back, and like I said, it's just trust and belief, and I like our chances when we're in those scenarios. I like our chances.
Drake May talking about getting it done last night after not getting it done against Buffalo last week and the growth that the team experienced as a result. We continue, Toucher and Hardy, all the guys out. Kendra's here, Matt McCarthy, and joining us until 10 o'clock, the hardest working man, and I'm not joking about that, at 98.5 The Sports Hub, Alex Barth, who was on 2 times yesterday, covered a full Patriots. 3 times yesterday.
Pregame it.
Right, okay. So he was on 3 times yesterday, covered a full game, probably worked till what, 3:30 in the morning, getting all
wrapped up right around 3. Yeah.
Yep. Said to me, I almost thought about driving in and sleeping on the couch outside the studio and just figured you would wake me up at 5:30 and then I'd just join you full from 6 to 10. This guy's a sicko.
Have you slept on this couch before, Barth?
Yeah.
I figured.
Hardest working man at the station. Respect to you. I mean, you're crazy. I used to work hard, Barth. I don't do that anymore. I want to make it very clear. I don't work hard here anymore.
I'm not a morning person, so the idea to me of having to get up and get ready and get going in the morning versus I could just wake up and be where I need to be is such a great concept. If I didn't have to be 2 places for work, I would try to live close to work, but Waltham and Foxborough are not near each other. I just want to get going in the morning. It takes me so long. So I was just like, I can just wake up and be a couple steps away from where we need to be. That'd be great. It's
the dream.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I hate mornings. I have contemplated on some of my red-eye flights back here, just Ubering here and sleeping on that couch instead of going home. Genuinely. Especially when me and Lift Shots were on at 7 and not 8. Oh, my God.
Right.
Those shifts are tough.
You guys are legitimately my friends. Let me give you some life advice. It's not worth it. Not worth it. Anyway, Barth, what about the game last night?
How about that game, huh?
Great game.
How about those Pats?
That was awesome. And I personally, I know I wasn't alone, but I spent a lot of that week hyping up, hey, this game truly is a redemption shot for the Patriots. It's not just, you lost last week, now you got to come back and try to win and get back in the win column. It was, the Ravens are going to do so many of the things that the Bills did, that the Patriots struggled with. And, 1 for 1, get a chance to try to check off some of those boxes again. They didn't do it across the board. They struggled against the run, but the big thing, they were in a close game. They didn't get the big lead, but they had a lead. It ends up being a close game. They fall behind. They pull off the big drive late. Drake May overcomes early mistakes, leads that, gets a 300-yard game, gets the fourth quarter comeback. Stephon Diggs, there'd been a lot of questions about where he was at coming off that game against the Bills. That might have been his best game of the year. That might have been better than the first Bills game. Maybe I'm being a prisoner of the moment. I don't know.
No, I think it was. I think you're right about that.
They did so much of what we spent the week talking about, and it doesn't erase what they did against the Bills. It still would have been great to clinch the division last week, but so much of what we spent the week talking about, well, was this real or was this fake? Was this real or was this fake? Are they actually this? Are they actually that? They came out and gave a definitive answer to.
They said it themselves. Drake May said it himself. He said it was the elephant in the room, the way they closed the game against the Bills, and to be presented with a very similar opportunity at the very next week, prime time Sunday Night Football against a team that ultimately did need it more than you. The Ravens were a more desperate team, the same way that the Bills were a more desperate team than the Patriots a week ago. The fact that they grew from that Buffalo experience, the fact that they had a real progress moment in that fourth quarter, that's the takeaway from the game last night. Drake May and the team themselves in the fourth quarter, the fact that they improved on the things that they did not do well for the first three quarters of the game, that they improved on the things they did not do well in the second half against Buffalo, that's the takeaway. I mean, there are plenty of things to get to. Baltimore was complicit in their own demise. They almost lost to Tyler Huntley. That's all a factor. The injuries are a factor. But the number one story coming out of that game, to me, Barth, is Drake May, his fourth quarter, and what the Patriots did to ultimately win the game.
I think him and Diggs. I think Diggs is a bigger part of that because, and you saw it in that game, if they are going to make a run at this and not just make the playoffs and be a fun story and make a run at it, you need Diggs to play like that. You need a guy that the defense can focus on, and it still doesn't matter. That coverage dictating wide receiver. So when did the game turn? When May kind of started throwing to Diggs in a higher volume, right? So I think between the two of them, you're right. And I heard you say it earlier, May's ability to overcome those early turnovers, it was something that he had an issue with last year. I thought he had an issue with at times early this season was he'd be great up until the first turnover. Yep. Or the first major mistake.
It compounds.
And then he'd kind of go into a shell and never really get out of it. And some of that, not just Drake May, I think some of that was Josh McDaniels too. He'd been much better about it during that winning streak of the few times he did make it. First of all, he was making fewer mistakes, which is good. But the few times he did, just bouncing back and wiping it out and moving on. And those were two bad turnovers last night. I mean, you're in a close game. You throw an interception in the red zone. You fumble on the plus side of the field on a 2-minute drill. That's 6 points. That's 6 points potentially off the board the way Andy Borgales has been kicking the football. So to bounce back from that and have the fourth quarter he had, 12 of 14 in the fourth quarter. I think it was 134 yards, the touchdown. Also the run at the end of the game. They're getting his legs involved now more in key situations, and I love the way they're using him in the running game now. But to have that turnaround, that was excellent. Excellent stuff from Drake May.
Make no mistake about it. If they lost that game last night, Drake May would have been a huge reason why because of those turnovers. But they didn't lose the game because May was outstanding in the fourth quarter.
And you know what? There's going to be people that say, oh, the turnovers are still a problem for him and we need to stop getting ahead of ourselves and all of that.
And by the way, those people aren't wrong.
Well, yes and no.
The turnovers are a problem because they compound. That's what happened again last night. I mean, he probably had more turnover-worthy plays than he's had in quite some time. And actually, he did nearly throw a pick six in the final drive, which, again, the football gods intervened and said, no. After the Patriots got screwed on the bootied pass interference, it was not
which
called.
Was that. And look, I've tried so hard this year not to be a blame the refs guy. And to be clear to people, because I think people miss this, there's a difference between a poorly officiated game and an unfairly officiated game. You can have a poorly officiated game that does not impact the outcome, but as a fan of the sport, I want it to be a watchable product, and these referees this year, any game you turn on, are doing their best effort to prevent this from being watchable. And, I mean, look at the end of the Steelers-Lions game yesterday. That was awesome, but no, we have to watch a 5-minute conference. But anyway, Drake May has 11 turnovers through 15 games after last night. He had 16 in 10 full games last year. That was his third multi-turnover game last night after the Steelers game and the Falcons game. He had 6 multi-turnover games last year. The reality is, stylistically, Drake May, like we're used to around here, Tom Brady, like 5 turnovers in a year was, whoa, what happened? And there is a style of quarterback that plays that way, like Burrow's that way. Drake May is not that style of quarterback. The turnover number is just going to be higher because of the way he plays, but the highs you get with that are what make it worth it. It's just a different style. There's a lot of guys in the league that play that way. Josh Allen's obviously the first one that comes to mind. You mentioned the throw to Diggs that was almost picked off, but it wasn't, and that's a major play in the game. He's going to take that chance, and that's just the reality of it. Because he's so talented, that play is going to work out more often than not. And ideally,
worked out on the 4th and 2.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
He forced that, very next play.
And because he is as talented as he is, it can work out significantly more often than not that you just live with the bad ones because the highs are so high. So I said at the beginning of the year, my goal for him was to be under a turnover per game. So it starts the whole season, 17 games, 16 or fewer turnovers. That was my goal. Again, he's at 11 through 15. He's never going to be like Brady or Rodgers that has like 4 turnovers over the course of the season. I just don't think he's ever going to be that guy. I don't think he needs to be very successful. The number can still come down a little bit from where he's at this year, but I'm really like big picture, not super worried about where the turnovers are at. Even with the ones last night being bad, especially the interception, I just think he's always going to be a guy that probably is right around double-digit turnovers.
Good win, great team win, and I don't want to take anything away from that. It's Victory Monday, fair to celebrate, but the vibe check that I've gotten from the callers this morning is that it's a feel-good win, but with the injuries, there's a lot of just looming question marks and a little bit of negativity on a day that should be celebrated. Where do you kind of land on the injuries? The next 2 weeks, obviously a little bit of an easier schedule in comparison to some of these other teams who are fighting for a playoff spot. What do you kind of think after, last night's just absolute up and down the injury chart?
Yeah, I mean, that's also one of the biggest stories. I heard you talking to Mike Reese earlier, and I'm kind of with him. Initially, just based on the reporting, it seems like maybe dodged the long term, right? Because right now, look, they have to win these next 2 to get the division, but it's against a lowly Jets team. It's against a lowly Dolphins team. It's about do what you got to do. There's no need for style points these last 2 weeks, especially after how they won last night. Just get to the playoffs and get healthy. The Kairos Tonga one is concerning because for all we've talked about with Milton Williams being out, I think Milton Williams is the biggest reason their run defense has fallen off the way it has, or the defense as a whole, frankly. Tonga missed some time too, and that was noticeable, and he's a big-time player for them against the run, as is Robert Spillane, and he's a part of this injury conversation too. I know he didn't get hurt last night, but he's a part of that conversation. You have a couple guys with concussions. Obviously, you never hope for that, but you know that that's something a guy can be back from, 2 weeks, hopefully, at the max.
Concussions this year have been a long recovery, though, which I'm glad they're taking, the concussions and CTE really seriously, but we've seen guys miss like a month.
So again, those are ones you watch. You kind of monitor that, but it seems like they avoided the season ender kind of thing. It's going to be tough these next 2 weeks. Like their running back depth is thin.
Yep.
And if you're not going to have Travion Henderson, they're probably going to have to make a roster move. They're probably going to add somebody. You're now looking a little closer at the tackle position. I know both Morgan Moses and Thayer Mumford came back in, but sometimes
Moses gutted through that thing last night. He was not the same.
He's been outstanding for them this year.
It really has been.
Just in terms of he's shown up and played, and there was a lot of questions about he's 34 years old. Remember, he was missing time in camp. Where's he at? But now you see, sometimes those injuries, you have the adrenaline of the game. You're feeling it. You get back out there. A long play ride home, wake up in the morning, and suddenly it doesn't feel so great. So watching the tackle position as well, it's obviously not great, but the fact that they've clinched, they're in. Now you kind of look and say, okay, if everybody can just get healthy over the next 2 weeks, they can get away with winning ugly. As long as everybody's good to go for the playoffs, it's you're in okay shape.
How important is the bye right now, given the injuries, given the depth? I mean, it's more in play now than we thought it was going to be. I mean, obviously,
I was writing it off yesterday. I said I was rooting for the Broncos. Sorry, Kendra.
You were concerned, ultimately about you wanted the Jaguars essentially to get knocked down to the 7th seed and have Houston come back up.
Yeah, fair. I deserved that. It's important. The other thing they can do, though, so the Eagles are in this weird spot where are they still competitive? Are they not?
Yep.
The Bills struggled with the Browns yesterday. If the Bills, and we got to do the path math again, so I think I have this right, but correct me if I'm wrong. If the Bills lose to the Eagles and the Patriots win, I believe they would clinch the division.
I think you're correct. I went through this scenario yesterday.
So, and they can't, if they win next week too, I don't think the Jaguars have the tiebreaker over them, right?
So the Jags still have division games remaining. We talked about this yesterday.
Over the Patriots, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you're correct.
So they don't have it.
No.
So if the Patriots win the division, they're the 2 seed. Like, I don't think they can fall to 3. If they lose the games they fall, they're going to be the wild card. You have bigger problems.
Yep.
So if you can win next week, you get some help with the Eagles. Even if you don't get the 1 seed, week 18 can kind of become your de facto bye because that game would change nothing. You're the 2 seed whether you win or lose. So ideally, even if you don't get the bye's important, but there's still sort of a way for them to have the bye without really having it if they win next week and get some help.
Well, and Denver's game against Kansas City looks a hell of a lot easier now, which we'll get into what happened around the NFL.
Would it not be, for everything this season has been, Kansas City somehow winning that game? Would that not be the most 2025 NFL thing ever?
Yes, I said this yesterday. It absolutely would be because for the first time in a while, the Chiefs can get a decent draft pick. And for some reason, on a third-string quarterback, you know that they're going to go out there and somehow just kick this Denver team while they're down.
Putting everybody on IR. You got a bunch of guys on the field that are trying to prove they belong, trying to show up for other teams next year. It's the 2024 Week 18 Patriots. But the Broncos are playing for something.
The Broncos have Chiefs Chargers, correct?
Yes.
Which if the Jaguars actually did really just kick their puppy yesterday, they could have a little bit of a struggle here. And I'm serious. So the number 1 seed's alive and well.
It all comes back to Jacksonville, doesn't it? We'll get to them. We'll go around the NFL a little bit later on in the hour, but Alex Barth is here. We'll talk more about the Patriots and the game last night. The fake punt decision. We got into Drake May's performance. Tons to get to.
Those clips.
Christian Gonzalez, the Kyle Williams touchdown, which was one of the big momentum swingers. Anything you want. 617-779-0985. Matt McCarthy, Kyle Williams, Kendra Middleton, Alex Barth until 10 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hood. Make sure you bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Toucher and Hardy
That's what I want on my tombstone.
on the Sports Hub.
First and 10, New England from the 37 of the Ravens. Snap is back to May. He loads up. He throws a long ball down the right side for Kyle Williams. He has it. He falls across the sideline. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Patriots.
Cash money, get your pants on. I can't believe it. Kyle Williams again.
Made
The
a
two
grab
long
like
ones he's
that
got,
down
but-
the left side. On his last touchdown catch as a rookie, and Aaron's over the right side.
Oh, what a catch.
Over the shoulder.
That's a
Beautiful
bucket throw,
throw.
man. Big time
Tough
bucket throw.
catch for the young receiver looking back, tracking it all the way. And the Patriots will go for two.
Amazing the amount of Patriots fans here.
New England, this season, 2 for 2 on 2-point tries. Pass break from the huddle. They trail at 24-19. 9:01 to go. After the touchdown of 37, Mays in the gun, 3 receivers right, 1 left, and now Stevenson joins him in the backfield. Drake leans forward, waits on the snap, he takes it, he drops back, he looks to the end zone, he moves on, May throws it, shovels it, Stevenson, middle of the end zone, a 2-point pass, and the Patriots are now 3 for 3.
Catch I've seen all year. Like, I would say play of the year right now.
Momentum swinger.
It's up there. It's up there. And I'm glad they're starting to figure Kyle Williams out. I really am.
Kyle Williams!
Cash money, get your pants on.
No, I need the other. I need him saying Kyle Williams.
I can't believe it. Kyle Williams.
Kyle Williams. That's all.
I can't believe it either.
So the thing I think people are starting to understand about the way Kyle Williams plays, at least right now, and he can evolve into more over the course of his career, he is not a volume player. He is not a guy that's going to catch 7, 8, 9, 10 passes a game, what Stephon Diggs is doing right now. I actually think he could grow into that role eventually, but that's not who he is at this point. He's a guy that's going to have 1 or 2 catches a game, and are they going to be for 10 yards or are they going to be for 60? And that's just the kind of player he is. And they've started to pick their spots with him. I thought there were some opportunities early in the year when he wasn't getting the ball. They had this one formation they kept going to where everybody made a lot about, Kyle Williams isn't playing. There was this one formation that they used a lot where he was the only receiver on the field. They'd go, 2 tight ends, running back, fullback, come out and heavy, force the defense to come out and base and put Kyle Williams out to the outside. And it kept waiting for them to hit some sort of play action or something, against the heavy personnel to him. And they're now starting to take some of those shots with him. And they've needed that player for a while. They haven't had that guy. Damiere Byrd was kind of that in 2020. Nelson Aguilar was supposed to be that guy, and that didn't work out when we came into camp. So I thought they were going to develop him as a Z. And again, maybe they will long term because I think he eventually could fit in the role Stephon Diggs is in right now. When they said they were going to play him at X, I was like, that's, I'm thinking the big body traditional X receiver, but going back to that role that, again, the X is not a high-volume role in Josh McDaniels' offense. This is the exact kind of guy you want. This is the kind of performance you want out of that position. 1 or 2 pop plays a week, and the volume's never going to be there, but, you talk about a guy making a lot out of a little. Yeah, Kyle Williams, I think he was only targeted twice last night. I know he had 2 catches. I forget if there's an incompletion his way. You can't look at that game and say Kyle Williams didn't make an impact.
Massive impact. One of the biggest
3
plays
targets, so there's 1 incompletion. But a guy that's doing a lot with the little, they've needed a guy in that role, and he's starting to really kind of come into his own in that role, which is a big development because it's going to keep these defenses honest and keep them playing over the top. Kyle Williams only played 38% of the snaps last night.
I think we owe Mac Hollins some flowers, too. He's not a guy that gets a lot of recognition, but when his number's been called this year, he's been awesome. And yes, Drake May has absolutely elevated him, but he's played a lot better and had some really important catches down the stretch of this Patriots, second half of the season. He's not your number 1 target. He's not your number 2 target. Hell, he's not even your number 3 sometimes, but he's been consistent for a guy that's older, and I didn't expect to have such a role in this offense.
6 months ago, would you have said the Patriots had a good wide receiver room? Like, seriously, ask yourself that as a fan.
I think I said better, maybe good, not great, is actually what I said over the summer.
What they have gotten out of this wide receiver room, top to bottom, has been more than anything you could have possibly asked.
And
that's a good room.
And you know what it is? at least
That's
in
Drake
part.
May, really what it comes down to.
So part of it's Drake May, but also, and this is something that they really struggled with in the between McDaniels years, right? Patricia O'Brien. There was so much, even going back kind of to the end of McDaniels, like the N'Keal Harry era, it was a lot of putting a square peg in a round hole. And they just were asking guys to do things that didn't make sense. And they were putting players in roles that, and that's not to say they had these great players that just, couldn't overcome a bad offense, but they really weren't having players play to their strengths. And I think what they've done this year, what McDaniels has done this year, again, I talked about the role Kyle Williams is in fits his skill set so well. The role Stephon Diggs is in fits his skill set so well. Has it at any point looked like any of these wide receivers outside of maybe Kyle Williams early with just some generic rookie growing pains? Have you ever once looked at it and said, man, the wide receivers are really fighting the offense? Man, these guys look uncomfortable with what they're being asked to do. That was such a common theme for this offense. Even going back to the end of the Tom Brady era, but really when you get to 2022, 2023, 2024, it was an issue. And everybody's in a role that fits them, and it's allowing guys to elevate their game, and then Drake May's elevating it further. I want to go back real quick, though, to what Kendra said about Matt Collins. Underrated play in this game, and I think it speaks to...
3rd and 13?
Yeah, 3rd and 13. I think it speaks to Drake May's development. So May throws that ball a little high. He kind of has to because of the pressure. You're throwing the ball high to a 6'4 receiver deep over the middle of the field. Matt Collins is a big target. He is a sitting duck in that situation. But he trusts Drake May to not put him in danger. And he is totally comfortable going full extension over his head to make that catch. And what does Drake May do? He doesn't put him in danger, right? He takes a little hit, but it's nothing outside of the ordinary. And I think that speaks to the trust that these wide receivers have in Drake May. And it speaks to Matt Collins as a tone setter. Because when you see that guy doing that, everybody else is going to see it and say, my quarterback's going to give me a chance. He's going to allow me to protect myself. I'm going to go get the football.
I think Matt Collins is one of the most underrated players on this team. You used the right term. He's a tone setter. That was one of the biggest plays of the game last night. He's tough. He blocks. It feels like he just has a big catch in him every single game. And they add up at the end of the year. I mean, he's got 45 catches right now, which you would have taken any day of the week from Matt Collins entering this year. 7 catches last night, 69 yards. Nice. He's
entertaining.
He's just in the middle of everything. He's never going to flash. He's never going to really, wow you. But when you really look at it, he just finds a way to be in the middle of big moments for this team.
And
he's trustworthy.
If I can cross sports for a second here, you'll see where I'm going with this in a second. I feel like, remember, he was signed on the first day of free agency. Yep. And a lot of people are like, this is like, he's not an answer wide receiver, special teams, blah, 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 whatever, McDaniels guy. And it's a good reminder that, like, the offseason isn't linear and you don't add the best players first. With the Red Sox recently, we keep saying this thing about, well, it's a good signing if it's a complimentary signing, but it's not the move. Matt Collins is a reminder that those signings can actually be great and be really helpful. We're not talking about Matt Collins like this if they don't have Stephon Diggs. But because they were able to put this whole room together and slot him into the right spot, like he's not... The last couple of years, again, it goes to what I was saying before, they were signing guys like Matt Collins and asking them to do what Stephon Diggs is doing. And that was never going to work. So when you put that guy at the top of the depth chart, and then you set everybody up where they should be after it. Like, it's a great example of, I don't want to say he's a minor signing, but Matt Collins was a complimentary signing. He was not like Milton Williams or Stephon Diggs or one of those guys. You can get a lot out of those mid-level signings when you position them the right way.
Right. You ask what you should be asking of them.
So the Patriots, obviously, in the postseason now. The rule of thumb is you get 24 hours to celebrate, but it's time to start looking ahead. It's that time of year. What are your realistic expectations for them for the rest of the season, and who would you not want to see in the postseason, and who do you want to see? Just because these are the conversations that I feel like we kind of have to start having at this point.
So, rest of the season, just win. I don't need style points. We all know divisional games are weird. They're banged up. Take care of business, win the division. I don't really care how they do it, honestly, as long as Drake May doesn't look atrocious just get the wins. If you have to scratch and claw.
Do you think there's any opportunity for them because of the luck they drew with these last two games? Yes, they're divisional and they matter, and you're shooting for the 1 seed now. But is there any chance that they can maybe sit a couple of guys and get people healthy, or are we just they have to be two balls to the wall here?
This week against the Jets, no. I go back to Matt. You remember 2015, Steven Jackson down in Miami.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't care about.
By the way, was set up because they lost in the Meadowlands the week before. That was the Belichick took the win game in overtime.
Right. So, this week, not so much. But like I said before, if you get the win and then you get some help from the Eagles, we're all big Eagles fans here this week. Shout out Matt Stenberg. Go Birds. Now week 18 means nothing. Week 18 means nothing, and you can just, then you can sit everybody. You can have Josh Dobbs play the game. And that, to me, is the ideal scenario, but I don't want to see them screw around with it.
Yeah.
Because the price to pay is too big. They've been a really good road team this year. Don't care. You want as many home games as you can get in the playoffs. You want, with the 1 seed still in the line, too. You want to see them take care of business at least this week, and then we'll see where we are for Miami.
Overall, are they playing good football right now?
Yeah, I think it's not the best football they've played. There was some time in that stretch, and this goes back to something I heard you guys talking about earlier with Drake May, where he wasn't great last night. And I think
he was not great last night. He was great when he needed to
I think he can be better than that, but the guy he was in October, that 6-week stretch, October, early November, he was never going to be that for 17 games for the next decade and a half. Nobody is. Mahomes didn't play at that level that consistently that long. Allen, nobody. Maybe Brady did. It's about where's finding his level. And I think right now they're about playing at their level. They were punching above their weight for a little bit. I think this is kind of who they are. They still have, and they'll get better, obviously. This is who they are for what they are right now. They'll get Mill Williams back. They'll get Robert Spillane back. They'll get Will Campbell back. But I think they're playing good football. They were better earlier in the year, but I think they're playing good football.
Who do you want? Who don't you want?
The top of my list for I don't want, at least right away, is Buffalo and Houston. Those are the two teams I really don't want to see. Jacksonville's creeping up my list, but I've seen enough. This is not a small market thing. I've seen enough warm weather teams come up here in January, and it just not work. And you even said yesterday, Kendra, we were talking off the air about the Broncos game. Part of the reason you liked the Jags was that it was 60 degrees in Denver.
They don't struggle in cold weather, though.
It's a different kind of cold when you get up here.
January.
Yeah.
Do you guys not remember the last time they were up here in January in 2017? They won that game.
No, they
did not.
Miles Jack was not down.
All right. No, they did not.
But you guys get what I'm saying. Yes, on paper they lost the game, but Miles Jack was not down. The last year, the Chiefs, yes, they lost to the Chiefs, didn't struggle in cold weather.
The quarterback was also playing. The other quarterback was also playing with a surgically repaired hand.
I get the cold weather angle.
So that's a bit of a leveling.
I get the cold weather angle. I just don't think I understand why you're saying it. I just don't think that they're not Miami.
Are they the best team in the AFC, Kendra, right now?
No. I would say Buffalo.
It wouldn't be an unreasonable take, though, after yesterday.
Who, the Patriots or the Jaguars?
No, the Jaguars.
No, I'm very much on this team thrives.
And I'm not saying I believe it, but
this team thrives on the hate. You guys know that I am a very realistic Jaguars fan. As far as fans go, I'm very realistic about who this team is. I said earlier I'm expecting a stinker from Trevor Lawrence at some point in the next couple of weeks. I don't want to see I don't want to see Houston. I don't want to see Buffalo, and I don't want to see Denver probably again just because of the revenge angle. But if I'm the Patriots, I probably don't mind grabbing Denver.
I don't mind it. Going there is a unique challenge. But to me, it's Buffalo, and Buffalo's the last team I want to see. It's because you play a team 3 times in a year. Anything weird can happen. Something's not right. The Bills are kind of the Eagles right now, the AFC. They're still winning, and we know they're talented. But everybody for weeks has said the Eagles aren't right. I don't know why the Bills don't get the same treatment, because if you've watched the Bills for the last month and a half, something ain't right.
Oh, I agree. Something's not right. But
I heard you talk about Josh Allen earlier. Josh Allen's not their best player right now. It's James Cook. James Cook is their best player. He's their most impactful player. And who knows what happened to Josh Allen's foot yesterday.
What the hell's going on with Keon Coleman?
It's not very good.
Well, but he's been a healthy scratch, and I know that people have said it's because he's missing meetings and whatever. Even if he's not good, he's still on the team and he's not playing. He's not. He was a healthy scratch yesterday.
My guess is Allen doesn't trust him. That's just my guess. Is they know he's not going to throw him the ball, So I have him out there. Allen's probably going to that meeting, campaigning for the veterans, saying he wants the guys he can trust. And Keon Coleman's probably not on that list right now.
Let's go around the NFL next. Quick update here from Kendra.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy.
I'm the only one who's not wrong.
Right or wrong, they're back. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Around the NFL with Toucher and Hardy.
Hit somebody.
As always, brought to you by Joyce Heating and Cooling in Nashua. Give your home the gift of a new Lennox heating system and save up to $4,400 in rebates and tax credits. Schedule right online at joycecool.com. Happy holidays from Joyce. Busy day around the NFL, including the game that has probably generated the most reaction, the end to the Pittsburgh-Detroit game. Poor
4th and goal for the Lions from the 9. Ball game on the line right here. They need the end zone for the win. Jared leans in. There's the snap on 4th down. Jared back. Jared stepping up. Jared looking, throwing end zone. It is caught by Amon-Ra, shy of the end zone. He flips it back to Goff, who dives into the end zone for the touchdown.
What?
There's a flag that came in.
2 flags. Did they rule him down?
Are they going to say pass interference against Amon-Ra? There's no time left on the clock. Here comes Carl Cheffers. The officials have finally broken. We're going to get the call right here. Is this game over or not?
Yeah, Pittsburgh staying on the field.
The ruling on the field is a touchdown. However, pass interference, number 14 on the offense. By rule, that penalty is not enforced, and there is no replay. The game is over.
Wow.
There is no touchdown.
Wow.
The OPI on number 14 negates the penalty. There is no replay. The game is over. There is no score. There is no score.
You know what? I watched that live. I don't know if I appreciated in the moment what a dick Carl Cheffers was to the crowd and every Lions fan out there.
There is no score.
He twisted the knife. Did they get it right or wrong?
I think they got it right, but it was an emotional roller coaster.
Barth?
I think they got it right, but this goes to something I've been saying all year. These officials' conferences have gotten entirely too long. Was that 5 minutes we were waiting? Make the call. If New York has to call in to make it quicker, make it quicker. Make the call.
There is no score.
Ruined a great moment.
They got it right.
They did get it right.
That was offensive pass interference. It did take a little while. But you know what? He made up for it by twisting the knife. Just suck on that, Hardy. Nice season for the Lions, huh? Talk about a team that has been decimated by injuries. They've had some problems.
I feel bad for them, dude.
I don't. Their head coach is an idiot, and they stood by him.
Yeah, Dan Campbell might have been propped up by those coordinators.
Just a little bit.
Hey, my under on their season's going to hit, so whatever.
Hey, all right, play the thing with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
3rd and 4, empty backfield for Trevor. Shotgun, he drops, 4-man rush. Looking, fires toward the end zone. That ball is going to be caught for the touchdown! Parker Washington caught it in the left corner of the end zone, and Jacksonville strikes first.
How you feeling about Trevor Lawrence, Kendra?
I feel pretty good. I think he's been probably best quarterback in football the last couple weeks.
Who's been better this year, Trevor Lawrence or Drake May?
Drake May.
I think you're right about that.
But the last couple of weeks, Trevor has been the best quarterback in the NFL.
How seriously, Barth, should I take Jacksonville?
I mean, you take them seriously. I don't think they're that upper tier of the AFC to me is still the Patriots, Bills, Texans, and Broncos. The Jags they've been impressive. Like, the question is, and this is to Kendra's point, are they on a heater right now, or is this who they are?
Who's better, Houston or Jacksonville?
I think Jacksonville. I think Houston. That defense is just, that defense is so good. Jacksonville's probably more well-rounded. Houston's defense is just on another level. I will say this about the Jags, though. I came away really impressed. I say they hit. They freaking hit. And I think one of those got called back by a penalty, right? But
weird day of refereeing. The end of that game in particular got real weird.
So the end of game one, they didn't call a penalty.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. But there was one during the game that was the same play that they did. I didn't think either of those were penalties. That team hits.
Yeah.
And in 2025, not every team does. So I respect the hell out of that.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I don't think that this is like a Super Bowl team or whatever. I agree with you. The top teams in the NFL, Jacksonville is not, a top 3 team in the AFC right now, but they're right there and they're thriving on the hate. And if they stay hot, with an easy last 2 games, I don't know.
Listen, going to Denver and winning is impressive. Going to Cleveland and winning, not as impressive for Buffalo, but they did it.
Allen under center. Cook alone set back. Motion from Shavers right to left. Another handoff to Cook. Bends it back. Reaching for the end zone. And he's got it for the touchdown. James Cook extends the arm to the goal line. And for the second time this afternoon, the Cook is in the kitchen.
I wasn't crazy about what I saw from Buffalo yesterday. I don't think they looked that good. I don't think they've looked that good for much of this year. They're still the number one team I don't want to see because that team has more to lose than just about anybody else. I mean, you think about it. Baltimore's down. Kansas City's down. The entire conference is wide open. If we ask 10 people who's the best team in the AFC, you'll probably get at least 6 or 7 different answers. Buffalo still has the most to lose out of every one of those teams.
Of course they do. If they don't do it this year, they're never going to do it. No Mahomes, no Burrow, Lamar, if he somehow gets in, backs in and is hurt. Drake May, obviously, he's great, but he's young. The Patriots are young. The Broncos are young. They're only going to get better. Jaguars are a relatively young team.
Texans
they're going to get better. Texans are young. Like, this is it. This is your thread the needle year, which is the reason the Buffalo Bills will not win it. Because everything about the history of that organization tells us when it is so clearly black and white their year, they will find a way to blow it. That being said,
I don't want to see him.
I kind of said this earlier, talked about, Josh Allen's still the best quarterback in the conference. The gap there is close with how Drake May's playing. James Cook scares me a lot more than Josh Allen. James Cook is playing some excellent football right now.
Especially with the injuries the Patriots have if you draw Buffalo. That could be a disaster.
Big swing yesterday in the NFC South. Carolina with a win over
My
the
sad
Bucs.
cats.
Mayfield in the shotgun. Twins to the right. Chest high snap. Deep in the pocket. Mayfield bouncing around the pocket. Throws! And it's picked off to the 30. Picked off by Carolina. Panthers football. Lathan Ransom, the rookie, comes up with one of the biggest plays of the season. A diving interception.
We're up against it. Do you feel differently about the Bucs win now in Tampa after the way they've played really since that game?
I mean, then you have to say you feel differently about the Panthers one,
well,
too, right?
I would agree with that.
I think they just net out.
Yeah.
There's one good win, one not so good win in there. Carve them up however you want.
All right, Bob Sosce, voice of the Patriots, will join us as he always does. Alex Barth is here for the next hour. We're here until 10 o'clock. Matt McCarthy, Kendra Middleton, Alex Barth in for the guys.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
In case you didn't stay up last night or you haven't been listening all morning, the Patriots won their primetime matchup against the Ravens 28-24. Drake May completing 31 of 44 passes for 380 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ramondre Stevenson, Hunter Henry, and Kyle Williams, your touchdown scorers. Lots of injuries for everyone involved. Patriots had 8 players get hurt last night. Ravens ruled Lamar Jackson out early in the game with a back injury. Up next, your Patriots are on the road to play the Jets Sunday at 1 o'clock. And the Red Sox acquired first baseman Wilson Contreras from the St. Louis Cardinals yesterday. They also received $8 million in cash towards his remaining salary, sent out Hunter Dobbins and 2 pitching prospects to do so. Bruins drop another game last night, their third in a row against the Ottawa Senators, 6-2. Korpisalo got the start was eventually pulled for Jeremy Swayman. He gave up 5 goals on 17 shots. Bruins are off today, but back at it tomorrow to host Montreal. And the Celtics are back on the court tonight with the Pacers in town. We've got you covered with Randy and Max at 7 for pregame and tip-off at 7:30. And Sports Hub headlines were brought to you by Super Service today. Winter is here. Don't get caught in the cold. Book your home heating system health and safety check with Super Service today. They offer New England's most comprehensive heating system safety check. Schedule now at superservicetoday.com. Super Service Today. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub. Boston's Home for Sports. I'm Kendra Middleton, and your next update is around 9:30.
Here's Pastrnak, high slot. Right circle to Sosce. Sends one across. McAvoy shot, and he scores!
The Bruins play here. Fred, what's it like to work with Hardy and Wallace?
What a golden ticket I've gotten.
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sports Hub.
He's in the gun on a 4th down and 2. He takes the snap. It's a quick throw to left. It's caught by Diggs. Shakes a defender. Runs left side. 35-30. Across the 30-yard line and out of bounds at the 28. And with tight coverage on Stephon Diggs, he made the catch from Drake May, peeling away. And now the Patriots, who convert on the 4th and 2, with that gain of 20 yards.
Do people understand what a gamer this kid is? He's just a gamer. He shows up, and everything that is thrown to him, he fights for it. He competes. He plays with an edge. I love everything about this player.
So it sounded last night, big 4th and 2 conversion for the Patriots. Drake made to Stephon Diggs, one of the biggest plays of the game, and I must say Bob Sosce sounded excellent, which is a borderline miracle given he's been sitting next to Scott Zolak all season long, especially over the course of the last month. And I know why. It's because you should know that every game with Bob starts with his favorite Bigelow tea, no matter how hectic your day gets. Be sure to grab a mug of Bigelow tea and Tea Proudly. Bob, how is your health after sitting next to Zolak for the last month?
Well, it's a lot better after last night, certainly, than it was last week after the Pats lost that game to the Bills. Thank God that we weren't talking about a non-call in the post-game few minutes that we spend on air trying to recap, what we just saw with that Keyshawn Boutte takedown by Marlon Humphrey. So Zoe walked away from the booth a very happy man. And that makes me a very happy man. It's like with my kids. If they're happy, I'm happy.
Well, Bob, what was your major takeaway last night from the game? Because I think there's so much to get into. There was so much that happened over the course of the 60 minutes of football. What was your number one takeaway after calling it?
Matt, I think you go back to a word that we heard a lot of, whether you use resiliency or resilience. I think early on when the Patriots began the long winning streak before the loss to the Bills, there were words like effort and finish that were repeated by Mike Vrabel and then back to Mike Vrabel. When people asked him about the culture and what he was trying to build as the head coach of the Patriots. And I thought there were a number of times where the Patriots really showed a lot of resilience early in that winning streak in particular, bouncing back from whether it was a set of circumstances that didn't go their way or injuries as the streak went on. And I think last night it was a combination of a lot of different things, including injuries and including a non-call on what would have been an enormous play right there. They were able to overcome that, including the start by the Ravens in that game, coming up with takeaways when they really hadn't been able to get them. For only 14 takeaways going into the league, I think 21st in the NFL. But key turning points early in the game. The Ravens have gotten the interception at the 4. They're up 7-0. They're driving to add to the lead. And then Hawkins punches the ball out from Derrick Henry. The Patriots recognized that the Ravens were loose with the ball. I think Kayla Von Chason said that, the Ravens ball carriers were like speed skaters. So I think for me, it's just that ability to do something they weren't doing on a regular basis, to do it while coming from behind, and again, showing that this is a team that will always give you effort and a team that's going to compete until the finish line. And last night they were able to finish with a victory. But that's a key thing for me, especially with Drake May as well individually. If you want to break it down, individually, Diggs overcoming the injury last year to come back the way he did and the way he's really played all season long, especially in key moments for this team.
Bobby, talk about the effort and finish, and there were a couple points late in that game I think you could point to as rallying moments, big plays for the Patriots. But you mentioned the non-call on Kayshon Boutte, and I think a lot of teams they have would have been a 60, 70-yard penalty wiped off the board, and you see teams sometimes kind of shrink in those moments and feel like something was taken from them. But that felt like a moment where I don't want to say the Patriots woke up, because they were starting to play well before that, but it felt like it maybe gave them a boost. Just being in the building, watching the body language, the mannerisms, the sideline, the players on the field. Do you feel like that missed call in some ways was maybe a spark?
I didn't see it that way because I just thought that they were already generating that spark, that they were, the fact that they had scored, they got the 2-point conversion, they got the stop. To me, I thought that they, at that point in time, were already riding that momentum a bit. And, the Ravens were complicit too. This is not to take anything away from what the Patriots did last night. But the Patriots, outside of that fumble, couldn't stop Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry stood on the sideline for a long time. So I think that John Harbaugh, Todd Monken, the play calling by the Ravens, were contributing factors. But that's always the case when you have a comeback from a margin like that, 11 points against a good football team in the fourth quarter. There have to be some things that they do that contribute to your ability to rally and win. And so for the Patriots to take advantage of that, obviously kudos to them. That's not to take anything away from what they did. But I thought the life and the energy of the team was good all night long, even with the injuries and even when they got down by 11, even with a fake punt, which could have been a disaster. It was a disastrous play at the time, and that could have been a game ender. To run that play, give the Ravens the short field, and all of a sudden, you're really chasing with time a huge factor down the stretch against a team that had been playing very good defense. I think the Ravens really are a team that's gone through 2 seasons. The first half, where they started 1-5 and then got going, where they were decimated by injuries, particularly defensively. Then they made some trades. They got some guys at the deadline, and they became, since week 8, maybe the top defense in the league, number 1 in several categories, no lower than 3rd in the real key categories like points allowed. So for the Patriots to do that, to come back against that defense, that again, I think is just another check in the box for Drake May. Not really a fourth quarter comeback, but a fourth quarter comeback against a defense of real quality.
Definitely the win of the season, in my opinion, when they needed it the most. Everybody stepped up from top to bottom. But was Kyle Williams' touchdown the moment of the season for the Patriots so far?
Yeah, Ken, I think if you look at that play right there, it's certainly one of them. And it's kind of a mirror image of the Kyle Williams touchdown against the Giants over on the left side of the end zone from a couple of weeks ago. But I think of far more significance for obvious reasons, given the complexion of the game. And I think coming off, the loss to the Bills and being able to come back and win on the road, tough environment in Baltimore. It's a playoff game in essence for the Ravens in that situation. They still don't like the Patriots, even though the Pats have been down the last couple of years in Baltimore. But for Williams, again, and talk about resilience. This is a rookie that had a tough time and has had a tough time on everything but those drop in the bucket throws on those routes deep down the sidelines, where May and him just couldn't get on the same page in the summer. They haven't been able to find that wavelength when they've had their opportunities during the season, with the exception of some huge plays. And kudos again to Kyle Williams for his resilience individually.
How about Stephon Diggs and the impact he's had on this team this year, Bob? I mean, he was massive last night. 9 catches, 138 yards. He was all over the place.
Yeah, man, I thought they did a really good job early on, too, of using him, putting him in motion. They had a tough time, obviously, with man coverage against the Bills. And Stephon Diggs is a guy that is one of the top route runners, not only today in the NFL, but of his generation. And you look at the first reception that he had, I think it was a 33-yarder, one among the first, where they put him in short motion and he shakes free across the middle. That's a huge factor in the box score, and I think as well for Drake May. There was no doubt against 4th and 2, you're going to throw the ball, you're going to look to Stephon Diggs. That wasn't an easy catch. Even when I called it, I kind of had my heart in my throat because I thought the defender had a beat on it. It was tight coverage. Drake May has said if you're one-on-one in man coverage, you're open. And with a guy like Diggs, you can count on him. Just great hands. There was another catch that he made that I thought later on in the game was really huge. It was a shot over the middle, a fastball from May, and he was able to snag that one. And he's a guy that when the ball's thrown to him, makes the plays. And coming off the 3 or 4 game stretch where he was generally seeing 4 or fewer targets, where, last week I think people were parsing his words and trying to read behind the lines when he had an answer about some usage, how he was used, and had a few ums and kind of searching for words, which is not the case usually with him in interviews. Some people read into that. And I think for Stephon Diggs, he's been consistent in terms of his effort, his leadership on the sideline. He saw that from the camera shots that NBC provided when he was continuing to remind his teammates not to take a nap, using words from the previous week when they got up on the Bills, and staying in their ears. Hunter Henry talked about it after the game as well with a bit of a chuckle. So he's been a leader by word. He's been a leader by example in that wide receiver room, and certainly last night with his performance.
Again, we're talking to Bob Sosce. Bob, after the Bills loss, a lot of Patriots players talked about that felt like a playoff game, and it was playoff games from there on out. And they go on the road last night. The Ravens 22-5, now 22-6 under John Harbaugh in prime time at home. That's the best record in the NFL during that span. How much did last night feel like a playoff environment, both in terms of the opponent and the atmosphere? And how much do you think, I know it's still a couple of weeks, but how much do you think that experience banks and helps this young team when the postseason comes around?
Yeah, I think it can't do anything but help, Alex, and it did feel like a playoff atmosphere. Certainly for the Ravens, I think mathematically they're still alive. I may be wrong about that. They still have the Steelers in the season finale, but Pittsburgh's got Cleveland. So the Ravens went in realistically. The players were talking about it after their win the week before over Cincinnati, that they were in a must-win situation. And you could sense that in the crowd. And I heard you guys before the break talking about that Lions game. It was really fascinating to be on the field and watch that game being played live on the video boards at M&T Bank Stadium and hear the reaction of the Ravens fans. The jubilation, the excitement when the Lions scored, and then the deflation and anger when a touchdown was overruled, and then it happened again. So they were riding that roller coaster in Baltimore, and they give you a sense of just how invested they were into what was happening in Detroit, but also what was about to happen between the Ravens and the Patriots. Again, understanding that for them, it really was anything but a must win, but certainly as close to it as you can get. And, with Jackson coming back in the lineup off the Cincinnati game, didn't pass the ball a lot, but he was healthy finally. First time in more than a month where he wasn't on the injury report going into that Cincinnati game. As I mentioned, the defense was getting right. Zay Flowers got off to a great start last night, and he's had a good stretch as well, another 1,000-yard season for them. So I think for the Ravens, they were feeling last night going into that game that it was a playoff type contest, and you could sense that. And I think the way they got started, and the Patriots were able to come back and win that game, I'm sure feeling in a similar way that it was like a postseason game for them. It can only give them confidence going forward.
This is the question of the day for me, but the Patriots are officially in the postseason. Who are your ideal matchups, and who do you not want to see?
Kendrick, at this point, I don't want to see Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills the third time. I always think it comes down to that in the playoffs. You think about the coach and the quarterback, and certainly the Bills unquestionably have the quarterback. And with Allen and Cook, the matchup is still is the same. It's the Bills' strengths that pair well for them with the Patriots' deficiencies. It's the Bills running in. They're a big offensive line. They're tight end packages. It's James Cook, but especially it's Josh Allen. And, his ability to make plays, even when it seems like, every play is lost for the Bills. So that's where I begin. I haven't watched enough of Denver. I haven't watched enough of Jacksonville to really, say what their clear strengths and weaknesses are. I think certainly with the Broncos, you start with the defense. It depends on a lot of times with Denver, whether you're playing them at home or on the road. I think with the Houston Texans, that's a defense that is very formidable. That's not a team that, the way they've been playing the second half of the season, I think that anybody wants to match up with. But I'm not sure that, C.J. Stroud has totally turned the corner. They really have had some of their best offensive games with Davis Mills at quarterback. But still, again, that's a very, very good defense. And that's a team that, while young in a lot of cases, already has a fair amount of playoff experience given their success in the last few years.
Bob, what'd you make of the fake punt? What did you and Zoe think of that? I mean, we heard the call earlier on. What did you make of the decision in that moment? Why do you think Vrabel ultimately made that decision, or do you think it was something called on the field? What did you make of it?
Yeah, a lot of times it is called on the field by the personal protector based on what kind of a look he sees. Vrabel didn't get that question, I think, in the post game. And nor did I see anybody else in the Patriots quoted as of our conversation today. I'm sure we'll hear a little bit more of it as we continue to dissect what took place last night. I just thought by the nature of it, it looked like it was a pre-call play from the sideline, the snap to Mapu, who was offset. The pattern by Westover was well covered. I think it's first of all, it's hard to beat the Ravens in special teams because that is John Harbaugh's principal background before becoming a head coach. They're usually very solid in special teams, and when they've been a successful team, often it's been in that third phase. I didn't like it at the time, but I can understand in some respects the way the Patriots defense was struggling to stop Derrick Henry, the way the injuries were mounting up. Mike Vrabel is an aggressive coach. He's had that tendency to go for it on fourth down with a lot of success. This is another fourth down attempt, albeit by a different means. But the play was really, I think, doomed to fail from the start just by the way the Ravens were ready for it. It's a lot to ask of Marte Mapu to try to throw the ball, which it looked like to me the play was designed to do initially to Jack Westover. But they were able to bounce back from that. And so, I do think it's actually, though, in going forward, I think as a special teams unit, you want to have the threat of a fake, on tape, or at least for a team to prepare for. We saw that for years when the Patriots would play teams like the Rams, for example, and you go back to the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 53 with Johnny Hecker, because there was always a threat when you played Hecker and the Rams that he was going to throw the ball. Now the Patriots got to find a Johnny Hecker for that punt unit, perhaps. No, I love Bryce Beringer, by the way. I love Bryce Beringer. That came out wrong way. But, it didn't work out last night, but now teams know that it's a possibility.
I listened to both the call on TV and the radio for a little bit last night, and Patriots fans sounded so loud, not just on the TV, but also on the radio call. Were they as out in full force as it sounded? Because you could hear the MVP chants clear as day.
Yeah, Kendra, they really were. Very impressive turnout last night. And that's been one of the stories of this season for the Pats. And I go back even to the first couple of home games when the Patriots played the Raiders and the Patriots played the Steelers. And I think about it, now maybe this is only because of my, maybe we'll call it proximity bias, because a lot of the visiting fans, obviously where our broadcast booth is situated, we get a lot of the visiting fans because it's on the visiting side of the field. And when the Raiders and the Steelers were in Foxborough, it seemed like there were a lot more visiting fans than usual. And you go back to the way last year ended with the Charger fans even, and then the Bills fans, those last couple of home games, really by the end of the games, overwhelming the Patriots fans, if not in numbers, then in voice. And what I've seen as the course of this season's gone along is kind of the Patriots being taken back to the way it was when I started calling their games 13 years ago, where when they traveled, there was a large contingent of Pats fans who were vocal. I think now maybe, and some people have theorized, they're a little more vocal based on just what they've experienced the last few years, that they appreciate the winning more excited about this team. And I think when a team is a pleasant surprise in a lot of respects, as this team has been to people, then that happens. But that's clearly, I think, been one of the stories in the sidebar as a sidebar for this team. And I asked last night, I asked Jalen Hawkins about it, and I think these players I really do feel when the fans, are out in the force they are. You go back to the Tampa Bay game, that was another contest. They come off the field, the chance of MVP. The Buccaneers fans have bailed out, and Patriot fans remain. And certainly last night, and that was a good Ravens crowd too. And I mentioned the energy in that stadium when the Lions were playing. The Ravens have good, passionate football fans. There's still a blue-collar element to that fan base, like there is in the real traditional football cities that you don't always get now, in the corporate world of professional sports. But I thought the Patriot fans last night showed out, and they matched them, certainly, if not by the end of the game, overwhelmed them.
All right, Bob, get some rest after the late call last night. Merry Christmas to you and yours, and we'll look forward to the call on Sunday.
All right, Matt, I appreciate it, guys. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Happy Hanukkah to everybody as well. Thank you.
All right,
Thanks,
sounds
Bob.
good.
Happy holidays.
Bob Sosce joining us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline, 617-779-0985. We have not spent enough time on the fake punt. We have not asked Alex Barth about the fake punt yet, and everything that went into that decision last night. We'll continue with your thoughts. We see on the phone lines. We'll take care of you. Matt McCarthy, Kendra Middleton, Alex Barth, in for the guys.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Half Toucher.
Dressed like a gorilla.
Half Hardy.
A big, beautiful ball of flame.
And a whole lot of Boston sports.
And I have had many offers to become an insider.
Rolling over the top of the defender. Second time that Washington has gotten to May. Now the Patriots run a fake. Snap to Marte Mapu. Running it to the right. It's the personal protector. He lost the ball. It's loose at the 45. And the Ravens are going to have it either way. What are we doing? The Patriots tried the fake punt. Marte Mapu had nowhere to go on the run to the right. The Ravens, a team traditionally sound in special teams, not fooled whatsoever. Whether that's a call that Mapu makes as the personal protector, the punt protector.
Still not sure what the design is supposed to be here.
That was a preordained decision. You had Westover trying to run out to the left.
Westover was double covered.
But you're asking Marte Mapu to try to get that ball to Westover. No chance.
What the hell is that?
Had the Patriots lost that game, that decision would have been the number one talker. We would have spent 4 hours on it.
Would that be the modern day mortar kick?
Nothing's quite the mortar kick. But we would have talked about it a lot today.
I disagree because I think if Drake May didn't have that, fourth quarter that he did, we'd probably be talking about him.
It'd be those two topics. It'd be Drake May's performance, the turnovers, and it would be the fake punt decision down 4 against a backup quarterback in the third quarter. Barth, what'd you make of it?
Yeah, it's a weird call, certainly on the surface. And I wonder if it's one of those things. They talked about this on the broadcast a little bit, on the TV broadcast. Sometimes with the fake punt, it's not necessarily, the head coach or the special teams coordinator calls you over and says, okay, guys, we're running the fake punt.
Right, you press a circle instead of X on the Madden screen.
Right, exactly. Sometimes it's you identify something during the week that, hey, we might get this look. So if you're lined up and you see this look, here's the check, and we're going to go to it. And they had pointed out earlier in the game, the Patriots were punting. It wasn't a spot where you would take a delay of game to get more space, but the Patriots had a delay of game on a punt, and they were kind of communicating late, which might have led to the delay. And that might have been they weren't sure if they had the fake on or not. They weren't sure if they had the look, and that's why they took the delay. So I think there was something they were hunting all night, and they thought there was some sort of look that they were going to get. They're not just calling, all right, we're going to have Marte Mapu throw the ball. They're not just calling that. They thought one of those guys was going to rush or go a certain way that was going to leave somebody open. And so, it's on there. They didn't get the look they wanted clearly, and it gets blown up. Now, you can make the case that, because you can always kill that. You can always say, hey, we prepped this week, but even if we get the look here, no, just kick it. And that's a spot where you probably just want to kick it. But, yeah, it looked like Marte Mapu was expecting one of those interior guys to either add to the rush or fall deeper back and have a passing lane open. It just wasn't there. Credit to him. He didn't make a bad play worse. He could have tried to throw that ball. Now you have an interception. This guy's running the other way. But I was surprised they had the fake punt on there. I would think you just kick it away and go, especially with the Ravens having their backup quarterback in the game.
We don't have the answer because nobody asked after the game. I'm guessing we'll get a follow-up on it today. But Bob Sosce, who was just with us, did say, what he saw is he didn't really see any of that going on the field. Not that, we'd be totally able to pick up on it. And his inclination was maybe that it was called from the sideline. And I actually do think it was probably called from the sideline. Or Vrabel was, of course, significantly involved in that decision because I just think Vrabel was watching the way that the game was going. He was saying, my defense is decimated. I'm getting run all over by Derrick Henry. The offense has not been good. The offense was not good, especially early in the second half. They had basically just had 3 drives in that third quarter that didn't go anywhere. I think he saw a game that was kind of slipping out of his grasp a little bit, and he needed to do something to try and wake his team up. And I think he actually made that call, and I think it was a bit of a desperate move, but I actually did not have a problem with it in the moment. It didn't work. It backfired. It pretty much blew up in their face, but I defend the decision, and I defended it last night in the moment. I defend it this morning. I didn't have a problem with it. I think a lot of people had a real problem with it because you were only down 4 and it's a backup quarterback and you think punt the ball away and play defense. I saw the way they looked in that second half to start that second half, and they did not look like a team that was anywhere near in control, and they needed something to get them going. And I think that was ultimately what led to the decision. I did not have a problem with it.
This isn't something that we have really talked about this morning, and I don't want to take away from the win or have too many what ifs, but if Lamar plays the entirety of this game, is this outcome any different? Because the first quarter he was in was pretty iffy.
If they're taking Derrick Henry off the field at the end of the game, I mean, even when he was playing, he clearly wasn't right. And he hasn't been for weeks. Like, he's playing through, I think, multiple injuries. I'm not saying the Patriots definitely win without Lamar, but who did they miss more down the stretch, Lamar Jackson or Derrick Henry? I think it's Derrick Henry.
In the fourth quarter? Yeah, probably.
In the fourth quarter, Derrick Henry for sure, but then you still have 2.5 other quarters of Lamar Jackson instead of Tyler Huntley.
In the third quarter, with Tyler Huntley, they were still moving the ball because Derrick Henry was running so well. Derrick Henry in the third quarter had, I think it was 9 carries for 71 yards.
Oh, he dominated.
Or something.
And that, by the way, was without the threat of Lamar Jackson.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying Lamar couldn't. Now that last drive is where Lamar maybe makes more of a factor, where the ball's ultimately punched out of Zay Flowers' hands. Lamar, I think, is maybe more aggressive in getting the ball down the field. Maybe with Lamar, they don't try the fake punt. I think is maybe to your point that they're a little more nervous about where they're at. But to me, like they missed Derrick Henry more than they missed Lamar Jackson, which is crazy because the Derrick Henry one was self-inflicted.
What are your thoughts on, what Harbaugh had to say about Derrick Henry missing that drive?
Derrick was kind of ready for Keaton to start that drive.
So anybody who's listened to me in my coverage of the Patriots, I'm a big running back rotation guy. I do not believe in the feature back. I think that you can run a running back into the ground. I think you need 2-3 guys splitting carries evenly. I think that's the most effective way to run an offense. That being said, when you have a first ballot Hall of Famer against the worst run defense in the league,
and Lamar's already out,
and you're down your starting quarterback, maybe run the guy that's a freak. Like, my comp for Derrick Henry's always been, and frankly, I do this both ways. Derrick Henry and Rob Gronkowski, same player, different positions. Just a guy that the game is not designed for. They break the game. They break the way the thing is played. Derrick Henry's, 6'4", 250?
Oh, he's a monster.
Moving like that
By the
at
way,
30 years old?
Real quick, the tackle Gonzalez had on Henry.
Great play.
Great play.
He's sneaky been a better tackler the last year, or even go back to the end of last year.
I don't know if his coverage has been all that good.
So I was going to say, he had some other issues in that game. I'd still say it was overall down night for him, but that was a good tackle. But, again, I'm 99% of the time out on the feature back. It's not 2004 anymore. Like, the game's just too physical to play that way. That guy's different. You do things differently for that guy. I'm all for having a rotation and wanting to keep Derrick Henry fresh in the first and second quarter and maybe even in the third. You need 2 first downs to end the game, and you have a first ballot Hall of Fame running back. I would say the best running back of his generation. I think he's the best running back the league has had since Tomlinson. And you put that guy on the bench, inexcusable. I don't care what your preset rotation was. You change it.
Is last night more about the Patriots?
Planning on coming in.
Or is it more about the Ravens?
I do think it was more about the Patriots. I do, because they didn't sit any of their defensive players. And the Patriots still had those drives and got up and down the field. And look, you can't come back in the NFL without some help. That's just the reality of it. It's not like baseball where you can just score 10 runs unanswered, right? You're going to need the other team to mess up at some point. Derrick Henry sitting helped. But I think it's more about the Patriots because the offense did what it did.
617-779-0985. Vic in Virginia on this. Hi, Vic.
Hey, you guys kind of alluded to, I was questioning why Henry wasn't on the field. But I feel like in those situations, McCaffrey wouldn't have been on the bench. Taylor wouldn't have been on the bench. So I do kind of feel like they gifted us in that situation. And I want to be optimistic about the win, but I feel like we got a little gift there.
I think you can be optimistic about
both
the
could
win.
Be true.
I totally think both are true. The Ravens were complicit in their own demise last night. Of course, the Ravens have problems. Lamar's been hurt all year. Derrick Henry has had fumbling problems, and the game changed in the first quarter when
Zay Flowers too.
But the Ravens dominated that first quarter, and that game was going to be 14-0, and it might be a completely different game if Henry does not fumble. Obviously, it might be a different game
Mark
if
Andrews.
Lamar Jackson doesn't fumble. Yes, There were things that were not good for the Patriots last night. Their depth was exposed again. If they don't get healthy, particularly on that defensive line, that defense is going to look different in the playoffs. It's not going to. They have not been a very good defensive unit. Yes, there were problems. But what you saw from Drake May and what you saw from the team overall in the fourth quarter, that has to be your number one takeaway.
Both can be true.
Totally, and both are true.
Did the Falcons not give you a gift having Devonta Freeman try to one-on-one block Dante Hightower in Super Bowl 51? That's just how it happens. But no, they did. They did get some help from the Ravens. The Henry one, when you're already teetering as a coach whose job might be kind of on the line. That's one that's going to come up in the end of season meeting.
You tell him to shut up, nut up, and get out there. As a coach, that's what you do. I'm sorry, Derrick Henry, you got to go out there.
Listening to him after the game, I don't think he didn't want to be out there. Now, you could argue he's a guy that should go up to the coach and say, put me in, right? And should have been more forceful about it. I don't think he ducked the situation. I just think the coaches told him what to do and he did it, and he maybe should have, that's where you kind of want your star player to be a little bit of a diva. No. Yeah. Put the ball in my hands. Marshawn Lynch on the goal line, right? And
they're working that rotation.
Yeah, the rotation, no.
Should Harbaugh be done in Baltimore? It feels like that's run its course.
Probably. Yeah, it probably should be.
They both need a change of scenery.
I think some of it is how many other jobs open. He's not a bad coach. You can argue that it's run its course. He's not a bad coach. Do you feel like you're going to be competitive in getting his replacement? And if you're going to fire him just to fire him and you're not in a good position to hire his replacement, you maybe wait another year and see what the next cycle looks like.
Bill Belichick, Baltimore Ravens head coach.
I'm going way down the road here, but you have to consider if Buffalo doesn't win, does McDermott get fired? That's probably a more attractive job, right? If
Giants, that's going to be an opening for sure, I think. Probably Miami.
Well, so I don't think some of those aren't as attractive jobs because you have the quarterback in Baltimore. The two I'm wary of are it's three. It's whichever team ends up with the first overall pick because you have a coach who gets to pick his own quarterback. It's the Bills if McDermott, gets axed. And then the outside chance that Andy Reid decides I'm 70 years old, this team's about to go through a rebuild, I'm done.
What about the Commanders? Dan Quinn is kind of a big, dumb dummy.
So I feel like he's going to get one more year. He enters next year on the hot seat. But, if you're the Ravens, if you're going to end up maybe fourth in the pecking order in terms of getting your pick of coaches, do you fire Harbaugh or do you say, we'll give him another year and maybe we end up in a more advantageous hiring position? You have to, when you're moving on from a coach of Harbaugh's stature, not every team operates this way. When you're moving on from a coach of Harbaugh's stature, I think you have to consider that.
You see, if I'm a team like the Ravens or a team like the Bills, I'm looking at an opportunity that's presented itself in the AFC this year, and I'm saying, how did we not take advantage of this opportunity? The Chiefs are down. The conference is wide open, and
everybody sucks in it.
Let's be honest. The conference is not very good.
No.
Denver, Patriots, Jacksonville. 1, 2, 3.
Los Angeles.
It's not very good. That's not very good.
Indianapolis.
I said this to you when we did the show after the Thursday night game. The era of it's the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, and then maybe the Bengals or the Texans, and then everybody else. That's over.
Done.
The top of the AFC has fallen.
What about the Falcons or even the Bucks too?
I don't know how attractive the Falcons' job is because what do you do with Michael Penix? If you're somebody believes that believes in Michael Penix, then yeah, it's probably an attractive job because there's other talent there. But if you don't believe in him, what's ownership's view? What's the front office's view? Are they going to move on from him? Or are you going to have to try to make it work with them? Tampa has a ton of talent, but they're older, so that window's shorter.
Yeah, that feels like more of a dumpster fire. But at least you have the quarterback.
Tampa to me is an attractive option for a coach getting a second chance.
Yeah,
it's a little more turnkey than maybe some of these other teams are. But Baltimore, look, they could end up being the most attractive opening. But if you think that, and then suddenly, boom, there goes Sean McDermott, and boom, there goes Andy Reid. Now you fired Harbaugh, and you're going to get on the outside looking in at musical chairs.
617-779-0985. We've got one segment to go. It's the stack. We did just talk Atlanta Falcons and Tampa Bay Buccaneers for 60 seconds.
Me and Kendra had some college football thoughts.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, we collectively decided to not put you through that, so you're welcome, McCarthy.
Matt, good news, college football talk.
Hooray.
Your favorite.
Minor league football talk. Wonderful. And get to the Bruins from last night. A little Red Sox thing here. We can do anything, or we can just let these two talk about something that you don't care about because it's minor league football in Boston.
Just because you're miserable does not mean other people have to be.
I hosted for 90
Boston.
minutes. 90 minutes yesterday before pregame. I got 3 college football calls.
Wow.
Yeah, McCarthy.
Wow. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. There are 3 other people in Boston who watch college football. That's wonderful.
And 2 of them are
making
right
progress.
So happy. That's amazing. Yes, there's nothing screams sports radio death like talking about college football in Boston. But we'll try it just to keep them happy.
Says
and
the
just
baseball
because
guy.
I'm tired. Oh, you kidding me? Baseball talk does way better in this town than college football talk. Let's not even go near that, Kendra. Come on.
Triggering McCarthy is the easiest thing ever.
I'm tired. I'm mad, and the Jaguars are going to lose.
I rage bait. Okay, that's fine. You can't rage bait me with that. You cannot hurt me more than this team has. You are so easy to rage bait. I'm just like collecting rage coins from you today.
Just read the thing, please.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Whitey thinks the same way you do.
Nothing happened.
He's got the same questions.
Where is the story?
And the same opinions.
Boring.
And he's back with Fred on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hart.
We have 5 minutes to go until we hand things off to Zolak and Bertrand. So I'm going to ask Barth and Kendra, you can do your 60 to 90 seconds on minor league football. I did ask people to call in if they were interested. And I got nothing because it's minor league football talk in Boston. But please, go out and do your thing. How was your weekend? Do you have a good weekend?
First two games were good. The group of five auto bid might be dead.
Thank
I'll take
God.
my loss on that one.
What? You were pro?
In theory, it makes a lot of sense.
No.
The ACC ruined it for everybody.
No. Barth, that's the worst take I've heard from you. I'm sorry, but they should no.
Winning your conference should mean something. So they should have put like a qualifier on it or something.
Make them play in the Pop-Tart Bowl. It's America's
Don't
game
diss
anyway.
the Pop-Tart.
I love the Pop-Tart Bowl. It's
See the helmets with the sprinkles on
Yes,
them?
I'm just saying we should send the G5ers to the Pop-Tart Bowl, have your little game. Notre Dame should have been in. I hate to say it. I've had a great time watching the meltdown online. I hate Notre Dame fans, except for Peter. Peter is my king. But this never needs to happen again. It probably won't happen again. We learned our lesson. And here's the thing. I thought that we learned not to let these teams in when the whole TCU thing happened, but here we are again.
There you go.
You good? Everybody good? You happy with that? You get it out of your system?
Yeah, we're good.
It generated a tremendous amount of activity.
Biggest Jags fan in the world, Mark Bertrand. He's here.
We also had something yesterday happen in the NFL that people in this town will care about because it's the NFL. It's big league football. The DK Metcalf incident. Chad Johnson spoke with DK Metcalf. Is that my understanding?
So this is from what is it? Club Shay. Shannon
Club
Sharp.
Shay.
Club Shay. We got Chad Johnson. Chad Johnson said he has spoke to DK about the incident, and here are the two gentlemen discussing what happened.
Yeah. On an angle of the incident posted on Instagram, DK walked up to a fan, grabbed him by his shirt collar, pulled him closer, and then forcefully shoved him back. Mm-hmm. Now, I read something where the guy said he called him by his government name.
Yeah, I can tell you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just I got word. Obviously, I'm not condoning, putting your hands on a fan or punching the fan, but he did call him a racial slur. He called him the N-word, and he did call his mama. And I think with those words being exchanged and the fans saying that, I think that's where the action, occurred, where he threw. I think he threw a punch. I'm not sure if he connected or whatever, but he did call him the N-word, and he called his mama. I guess
the C-word. Just say the C-word, Ocho.
Oh, my bad. That's bad?
Yeah, it's bad. It's terrible.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, okay.
That's terrible.
Yeah, he did that. So he called him the N-word and the C-word. That's a bad combination.
Not what
yes,
you're looking
Chad,
for.
it certainly is.
I'm pro DK Metcalf, okay? I think that you should be allowed to punch a fan when that happens. The same way in Baltimore earlier this year when a fan put their hands on Lamar Jackson and he took a shove at him. Honestly, there should be criteria for if a fan says or does something to you. You should get like one punch a year as a player. You get to punch one fan a year. Get out of jail free.
Every player in the league gets one punch a year. That's excessive.
I mean,
There should be a team.
I think
you
that
guys got to use it one team, one punch.
And there has to be rules. Like, you had to have said something egregious, put your hands on them. We see it all the time in the NBA when they're walking in the tunnel and stuff. I do agree, maybe not every player, but like each team gets like one or two punches a year, get out of jail free. I'm Team DK. Screw that kid.
Remember there was that theory, because there was that whole run of fan incidents right after the pandemic that like people just forgot how to behave.
Yeah.
It's still kind of running. Yeah, fans get way too comfortable with these players sometimes. And at a certain point, you got to stick up for yourself. Like, again, not condoning punching a fan or anything, but what do you want the guy to do there?
What are you doing so close to the stands?
That is also a great point. Well,
not the NBA where they're on top of you.
If the guy's yelling it and then he starts like walking back there, again, stop trying to get the players' attention like that.
Yeah, it's just that people get too comfortable because then, like, when you're in a stadium, it becomes that, like, mob mentality when it's your home team, and I just don't agree with that. One punch per team per year.
That's bad?
Yeah, it's bad.
That's
It's
bad.
It's terrible.
Listen, if that's true, if that's what was said, obviously not good.
Yeah.
He's like he's a diva receiver, whatever you want to say about him, but he's not.
Hold on. We got a call. How about that? Brian and Swampscott, very quick. You watched the college football playoffs?
I did.
Amazing. Congratulations to you. Have a great rest
Suck
of your
it,
day.
McCarthy.
Have a great you found one. You generated.
There we go.
You two generated one phone call on the college football
We're
playoffs.
making progress.
It's the greatest miracle in the history of Boston sports radio. I'm so happy for you. This is fun. I'm going home and I'm going to go to sleep. How about that? Bye.
I have to go to a meeting.
Zolak and Bertrand coming your way next. Alex Barth is on the rest of the week. I'm on the rest of the week. Kendra is on too. We'll talk to you. a
Love
whole
you
bunch.
guys.
Bye. See ya.
That's bad?
Yeah, it's bad. It's terrible.
Talk to you tomorrow. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports.